Hey, welcome back to another episode. Hey, before I get into this one, I wanted to preface it. So me, Bryan, and Pat were recording this episode at Bryn Athyn, where we recorded the first one. And before I get into it, I wanted to just tell you real quick. On our way back from recording in like a corner of the area where the castle is and the trails are, we were walking back. Pat was holding their mic case and the mic stand. I was carrying a backpack full of our other gear. There's a security guard parked by the parking lot, and as we were leaving, he called us over. It was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" He's immediately suspicious, and I said we were recording, and he said, "What were you recording?" I said, "Oh, a podcast." He's like, "Okay, you can't do that here." He was immediately mad, and I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry. I mean, we're just leaving now." He was like, "Yeah, well, it's this private property. You can't do that here. You need permission to do that. This is not a recording studio or something." And then Pat actually at this point laughed and walked away from the car, and he did not like that. Pat was like snickered and walked off. He was like, "Hey, how come he was laughing at me like a kindergartner?" And I was like, I don't know, because you're immature and you got your feelings hurt. And he was like, "No, like, how come he's laughing at me like a kindergartner? I could call the police on you guys." And I was like, "Okay, I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. We're just leaving now." And just can I ask a question just before we go? He's like, "How come he's laughing at you?" He wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't let it go. His feelings got hurt. Big man. And he was like, "Fine, ask your question." I was like, "Well, I like to come here a lot. I mean, I read here sometimes too. Is this just like a new thing, or no? It's pretty clear. It's posted around the thing. No photography, which is bullshit because everybody takes pictures here. So I think it's just a reason for him to call the police on us. He didn't do it, but I'm still gonna come here a lot. But I figured I'd say something because it's kind of bullshit. But anyway, here's Harrow Podcast number 4 with the Wrecking Crew. Enjoy. Oh, and also, if you are that security guard and you're listening, fuck you.
Probably should.
All right. Check 1 2. All right, let me see if this.
It's apparently gonna get
check
like
1 2.
way hotter.
Check.
Really? Well, it's gonna go. It's like my phone says 72 right now, and that in an hour it'll be 79, and then it'll be 79 for like forever.
For the rest of time.
Yeah.
Global warming.
Hey. Ready? Whoa, that sounded really weird.
Like that?
Yeah.
Wait, what? There's like persistent rain coming down.
No, that's
Is that rain or the bug stuff?
the bug stuff.
There was like lots of it.
Was there?
Like a decent bit. It wasn't just like one drop. It was like... Shouldn't have told me about this. I just would have assumed it was raining.
Shit.
Yeah. Fuck.
All right.
The thing is, I'm very paranoid and I'm very much anti-bug. So it's like the worst combination of things.
I think it's trendy to be pro-bug.
Is
so
it?
You're kind of anti.
Dude, what if we... here's the thing that I want to say before we start this is like...
we've started.
Oh, we've started. All right.
We're in it to win it.
Well, we should probably edit it to like a real intro.
No.
But okay.
No, we can.
Yeah. Anyway, hi, welcome back. I think
hello.
The ground rules for this is that, like, we should generally talk about what we want to talk about, but I think to make it more interesting, just be open to, going wherever. With
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Follow
yeah,
tangents
that's
if you
right.
want.
Yeah, welcome. Harrow Podcast number 4. It's the fourth one.
Is it?
They never
Yes.
thought we would get here.
You know, I should have looked up a statistic on like podcasts that probably get canceled after 3 episodes. Because
We did it.
I think someone I know started a podcast, and I'm not going to say their name because they might hear this, but
Uh-oh.
they asked me to be on it. I said yes. I think their podcast did like 2 or 3 episodes and then never continued. And I've always had like that little bit of...
So episode 3 is like the 27 club for podcasts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what...
Welcome to Harrow Podcast, episode 4. My name is Kevin. I'm joined by 2 great people, Brian Dean and Pat Quigley.
Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for inviting us to your home.
This is, you can find us on Instagram at Harrow Recordings 666, and you're probably listening to this on YouTube, unless I get it on Spotify or something like that. That's probably Instagram.
Not a bad idea.
Follow us for any updates and that kind of thing. Harrow Recordings 666. There's a bug right by your. Kill it. There you go.
Get it.
No.
We're surrounded by lantern flies, and we're recording this in Bryn Athyn, the same place we recorded episode 1, which was feels like a while ago.
I don't remember when it was.
It was a couple months ago.
June probably, or
Yeah.
May or June, I think.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It was forever ago. It was a good podcast though.
it was fun. This is gonna be even cooler.
Nah.
So we got Brian Dean here. We got Pat Quigley. Meeting of the minds. I feel like Goku and Frieza are facing off,
Yeah.
and I'm like the damsel.
Yeah. I don't know if they ever fight about damsels in the show, but
I
yeah.
mean, is this are these albums that we're actually necessarily like passionate about?
I'm passionate about one of them.
Well, let's preface this by saying we want to do a podcast together. We weren't really sure what, or Kevin had the idea that he really wanted me and Pat on a podcast.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what, so I thought we should do like a book club, but with albums. Because I thought that was like
Good idea.
Because like for me, the reason I thought of it is like sometimes I'll listen to a bunch of albums and only listen to it once, and then like not discuss it with anybody, and it'll kind of just end right there. And I thought like the best way for me to get an actual sense.
Brian got attacked by a bug.
Pat tried to swipe a lanternfly off of their AKG case, and it landed right on Brian's shoulder, so that was funny.
God damn.
You missed a good one.
All right. Anyways, yeah, we should really do video, but yeah, instead of like breezing through albums that I would normally just listen to once, enjoy it, maybe not enjoy it, but then forget about. Probably be good to just sit with it a little bit. So it's like every 15 seconds is a new tip. Yeah.
But anyway,
New
the
tape.
concept of music book club is intact. So that's. Are you trying to kill another one?
There's just a hornet. Just
it's okay.
You just gotta stay focused.
yeah.
That's okay. So should we? Pat, what albums are we going to talk about? You want to introduce them?
Well, you picked the two of you picked the record.
So I
You were
picked.
supposed to pick a third too.
Well, I think that we are gonna. I'm interested to see how this goes. I think we'll spend. I think if we did 3 albums, we wouldn't be able to focus on them as much. I think 2 records is good,
Very uneven with 3.
but
Yeah.
like if we want to continue this, then like the next time, we'll just. I think maybe we'll do 3 or.
We'll see how it
either way,
goes.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
we have notes
I
prepared
picked-
for 2 of them. Yeah, go ahead.
I picked 100 Gecs from last year. The album
That was
is
from
called.
last year?
Yeah, the album is called 1,000 Gecs. But
Are you sure it's not the other way around?
No.
The band's 1,000 Gecs and 100.
no.
The band,
Yeah. Unfortunately, we gotta cut you short there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I picked that, which is a little, I don't know how to describe it, just like pop album from last year.
Pop.
I mean, avant pop, I don't know.
And I chose the new Taylor Swift album, Folklore.
Yawn.
See, I'm
and that's all
very
we're-
excited that these. Once we like started listening, when I sat down and started listening to them, I became like very excited that these were the 2 records because
Yeah.
like I couldn't help but like compare them as I was listening, and like Taylor Swift represents like the old guard of pop, and there's a bee in my face. I'm gonna walk away.
Oh, it really likes you.
Yeah, it's still there, yeah.
Oh no, it's over there.
It's crazy how, like, terrible this is.
Yeah, it's good.
Was
No,
it like
it's
this
good.
the last time you were recording?
No,
here?
not at all.
No.
It was so peaceful.
Well, now there's conflict in the air.
Well, there's gonna be conflict soon when we
The
talk
air
about
is
the
electric.
albums.
Taylor Swift represents like the old guard of pop music, and 100 Gecs is like obviously a newcomer and is garnering a lot of attention because of their unconventional sound, where Taylor Swift is like, you know,
It's like
very
old money
conventional.
versus new money.
Well, that actually was something I was thinking about, which we'll get into with the Taylor Swift album, because there's kind of like, there's definitely like a Gatsby theme on there, and she talks about
I actually have a note on
she
that one.
talks about the like
Roaring
old.
20s.
There's a story song where it's like it's talking about like new money.
Yeah.
Is it someone's new money house. And I thought that was a good comparison. Of what
Yeah.
you're talking about, because
Yeah.
it's like, how did Taylor Swift get popular versus how is 100 Gecs popular now?
Right. That
So-
makes sense.
These two albums. Well, did you notice? Well, we stated, but we noted before this that the 100 Gecs record is like 23 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift album is like 63 minutes.
Yep.
The 100 Gecs record, I think, I would like to talk about whether or not it is actually an album, and the Taylor Swift record. I really think the two things that like. Well, also the other similarity. I don't know if you noticed. Both of their album covers feature our artist in front of a tree.
With their back
Oh.
turned, right? Yeah.
Well,
Is it-
Taylor Swift is facing
Oh, I didn't.
the camera,
And,
but
and they're facing away.
they're
from the camera.
facing the tree. The two 100 Gecs people, and
So who's the true nature lover here?
I
It's like,
think
yeah.
these two albums are like they're the real important thing here, like their relevance, or not relevance, but like this is to me like thinking about the two of them. It's all about aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like the 100 Gecs record has very shocking and weird and futuristic sounding, you
Right.
know,
But
things
also
and like
throwback too.
it's very internet. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And like Taylor Swift's like Folklore is like her departure back to like a simpler sound, and like
She's like the
everything's
Bon
like
Iver.
fucking sepia or something, and like it's all it's like got like fucking.
It very much
acoustic
is a
guitars.
sepia Instagram filter.
I think she did
album.
like 16 LP variants of it or something like
She
that.
did.
And like one of them I think is the sepia color. So I
Yeah.
think it like very, very fitting.
Like reading like the Wikipedia on that record, like there's like literally a section that's like aesthetic, like the like, but it's bizarre because I actually think there isn't much to that album. It's very conventional.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
as
guess
opposed-
should we get into just one? Or are we still comparing both of them?
Yeah, where do we want to start? Or which one do we want to start with?
I think we're already ripping Taylor right now.
Yeah.
So Pat brings up the point that, like, I guess the question more is this album, this COVID inspired or COVID recorded at least. I don't know if it was written in COVID or
It was. I think that was the background. That this was an album she made in quarantine.
It's kind of
Okay.
like the Charlie XCX album, like that.
which was so poor.
I haven't listened to that
I
yet.
was about to
I
say
don't get
I
her at
didn't
all.
read it, but no, I didn't listen to it.
Well, I didn't like her last record either. I thought they were both just like very
I like that one.
bland. I didn't know. I don't
think she's,
understand.
I think she's really cool.
I don't get it at all.
But anyway,
She did a remix of a 100 Gecs song actually.
she did. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, ringtone. Anyways,
I kind of thought going into this was going to be kind of like a U2 tear the album apart and me kind of defend it.
Let me
Yeah,
give some
but-
positives to it, I guess.
Okay, yeah, start with that.
There wasn't really a Taylor Swift pop song obvious single on it,
which I love.
which I liked.
Oh, I immediately took that as a negative.
Okay.
I don't know what is the point to Taylor Swift if not a very catchy pop song. My biggest criticism of this record is like, well, I do want to preface almost like I listened to the 100 Gecs record and then I listened to the Taylor Swift album.
Oh.
And my immediate thought what's the second song on the Taylor Swift album?
Cardigan.
Cardigan. When I listened to
Lana Del Rey
Cardigan,
one.
Oh.
and I went through the like, as I was listening to it, I was like thinking of this song is one of the singles, or you know what I mean? And each time I was like, this legitimately isn't as catchy as the like 3 singles from the 100 Gecs record.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying 100 Gecs is like a fucking amazing pop record or something, but to me, I think that's ridiculous when Taylor Swift is like the queen of one of the top pop artists of the like, you know,
Yeah.
this era. It
Well,
just doesn't make sense to me.
That's the thing. I mean, I really like how there aren't bangers on the album because she's had that in some of the other albums. Like there's that song "Cruel Summer" on the Lover. I like how there's not an obvious in your face. This is the banger that you need to dance to this in the summer or whatever. This is very like my overall kind of thought on the album is that it exudes a very quiet confidence that doesn't need to
Really?
that doesn't need to shock or draw anybody in. The songwriting on it feels very kind of confident, and I'm not saying every song is amazing, but I do think that it's like, no, you don't need a banger. It's very minimal. It's understated and but still confident. It's not timid. So that's what I took from it. Disagreement.
Yeah, I guess I don't think this album, I mean, like, you were more acquainted with Taylor Swift's discography than I am, but, like, I really don't think sonically this is a big departure for her. Like, obviously it is from her last few records, but, like, she started out as, like, a folk pop singer. Like, I don't see how this is, like, an exciting shift for her. Obviously, it's, like, if people liked her earlier material, maybe this is, like, you know, that's an exciting thing, but, like, musically, I don't see how this album is what it's marketed as, aside from its, like, visual aesthetics and having the Bon Iver guy on it. Like,
it might be more of a return to form, I guess.
Yeah.
Which,
what were you gonna say?
well, I was just gonna say the Bon Iver part. It just sounds like him covering a Taylor Swift song.
yeah.
And
I
it's
disagree.
so stock, so
You think
phoned in.
It's
I
stock.
thought- when he starts doing the falsetto
It
part,
sounds stock.
the
Yeah.
falsetto parts are cool, but the like that when
Like
he
the
just
low vocals.
no, when the low vocals start,
I
I'm
can
like,
see you stand.
it's like
We're getting copyright claim.
I thought it was really.
Bon Iver calls me. That's not cool.
Dude, I worked hard on that. No, I didn't like. I mean, I was kind of excited, but it was what I expected from a feature on. It just sounded like, oh, I want to spice up this album, which is like the least spicy album I've ever made.
I think that, I don't know if you were just describing Bon Iver or Taylor Swift, but this is a Mayo album. This is
Absolutely.
a not spicy album at all.
I love mayo.
No,
No, I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the Bon Iver feature, I thought was very tasteful. I thought that. I guess I see where you're coming from, but being a huge fan of Bon Iver, I think.
I'm just the Bon Iver hater over here.
No, I know you.
No, yeah.
I know you like him too, but I don't know. I thought the harmony's really nice. I love the lower register of his vocals. I love how throughout the whole album, Taylor's not singing super high too. It's like she's got a really nice kind of lower vocal range too that you don't really hear often in the bangers, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I like this.
I think my thought on the Bon Iver thing is, like, I sort of really did become convinced as I listened to this record that it, like, is, like, Taylor Swift is, like, obviously, like, a good pop song is a good pop song, but, like, I really think this album is, like, I just kept thinking, like, this is a marketing strategy. Like, like, I think they literally paid Bon Iver so that her aesthetic became more woodsy and folksy. Like, that was, like, a deciding factor.
He certainly fits into that.
But he only worked on one song. Like, I think the bigger influence is the guy from The National or whatever who produced the majority of the songs.
Well, that's the thing about it. What were you gonna say? So
I was gonna say I had the same problem with The National that I did with this. Is that it's just there's cool sounds there, but nothing is taking up any sort of like real estate in the sound. Like nothing's really driving it. It's all like there's one song I pointed out. There's like a cool blues part, and it's just buried underneath this beat that is also not doing anything important. And it's just all kind of everything's like a nice pleasant volume. Nothing's really challenging you, and it all just kind of goes by.
There is some cohesiveness here because the National, which I don't really listen to that band.
I've never listened to them.
The guy, Aaron Dessner, maybe?
Something like that,
Something like that. Is in a band with Justin Vernon and Bon Iver.
Oh, really?
It's called Big Red Machine.
I didn't know about
that. They have been collaborating for like years.
Okay.
I'm not privy to it, but that National influence, even though Justin Vernon wasn't involved in a lot of the production and songwriting, the other guy was. And it kind of reminds me of the newest Bon Iver record, where the production, like that bluesy riff, and there's some other. It feels very reminiscent of the II album. Like there's some things on there that remind me of it.
I'm gonna just raise my hand like I'm a teacher. I think that's a good point because it's like the difference between like the latest Bon Iver, I'd say the latest two Bon Iver records, and this is like everything's kind of there for you to hear in the Taylor Swift album, whereas in the Bon Iver records, it's kind of like a treasure hunt to find those cool things. Yeah. Because you'll have abrasive sound one distracting you, and then there's like a whole nother sound going on over here where you pick it up on later listens. Whereas this, you kind of get everything on the first listen, and it's just like nothing's Like, you can listen to the guitar part if you want to, because it's right there. But it doesn't, like, further listens don't really give you anything special.
There are some things in there. There's some, like, parts that you might not have known there was a little guitar part there, but if you listen with good speakers, you could hear it. There's some little things buried in there. I'm not saying it's really... What were you going to say?
I 100% agree with what you're saying about how you're attempting to describe that production style, because I legitimately thought, what is that guy's name, the National guy?
I think it's Aaron Dessner.
I think you're right. I really think, like, I thought almost every single song that he produced it's very boring. They reminded me of, like...
Yeah, Aaron Dessner.
To me, it sounded like... I was like, this sounds like, some young girl on YouTube writing songs influenced by Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. Their production is, like, so uninteresting to me. It's just... I was interested by a few of the Jack Antonoff songs. I thought they...
which ones were him?
I haven't...
I actually don't know this, so this is really exciting, because I already know which songs I like.
So
we should do the track by track. It's going to happen.
We'll see.
Mirrorball is, I think, where he comes in.
That's my favorite one.
I thought Mirrorball was one of the better songs on the album. And I think that's because his production is very, like, sort of 80s-ish, like big reverbs and stuff like that, like gated reverbs and whatnot, but, like...
Synths.
Yeah, but I think he still managed, like, if you listen to those songs, they still fit this, like, pseudo fucking woodsy vibe that cottagecore shit fucking Taylor Swift wants to do.
Brian, before we move on, we are going to do a track by track. I'm not going to be like, oh, we weren't going to do this, but now we're going to do it. Explain cottagecore.
Pat's the bigger expert in cottagecore.
Pat, explain cottagecore.
I mean, obviously, how old is everyone here? You're a year older than me.
I'm 18 years old.
Are you a year
I'm 25,
older?
yeah.
You're 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 24.
I just turned 25.
So I'm 95, so I think I'm like...
Same here.
Which I think is a cutoff for Gen Z and millennials. I consider myself 70%, 75% millennial and like 25% Gen Z. So I don't necessarily fully understand cottagecore, but I also think it extends beyond the thing. It's just like...
Traditional values, like traditional activities, not really values.
Yeah, but it's like
TikTok.
a newer cultural thing from COVID where like young kids on TikTok are like really getting like really interested in the like visual and like these like like old values, like you said. They're like TikToks of them like sewing something.
Baking bread.
Yeah, baking bread.
Yeah.
From
and, like,
scratch.
It's like they want to fucking like live in the country or something.
Hell yeah,
and it's like, I guess, popped up in a COVID in these like sort of COVID times. It's like become very prominent.
Yeah, because people weren't going like downtown to party.
Well, it's not just limited to these kids too. I mean, it is like a lot of people are thinking this way. It's just that this is the generation that has influence over Instagram and TikTok, I guess.
I think it is something that's existed for like at least the last 5 to 7 years, but it's become sort of like I think like, the concept of the cottagecore aesthetic has stemmed from like a TikTok culture, but obviously it extends into other things.
But like we were talking about earlier, it started. The whole reason Bon Iver got popular is because there was that.
I'd
kind
say
of same
Kanye,
thing.
not really. I thought it was Kanye more. That's always how.
What album are you talking about?
Well, I guess no. Like I guess Bon Iver got like popular because of like Skinny Love and people covering it and putting it on YouTube. That's at least what I always think of. I don't know if that's true, but that was my experience with it.
You're good.
Yeah. And then I always think like because he got to be friends with Kanye, and when Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was getting hyped up, like
and he sampled,
he was like with
Woods.
Him. Yeah, he sampled it. He sang
Woods,
on a couple songs, but he was like there doing production with him in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so people were like, "Oh, there's a Bon Iver record coming out. Now we like Bon Iver."
Like the second one.
Yeah, the second record.
But I think people fall in love with the story of, like his band broke up, his relationship broke up.
Yeah.
He secluded himself in a cabin and like made a record. I think people like that kind of story, even though it sounds cheesy now, but people
I think
that.
That concept of like the story being what attracts somebody to an artist is like the thing that like Taylor Swift is like relying on here, maybe. Like I really think musically this album doesn't stand out to me or impress me in any sort of way. It sounds just like I don't know, it just seems very, very it sounds like a stock image, like you could like look up, like I don't know. It's just nothing. I can't really remember many moments from it.
Yeah.
And I think everything is about this, like the whole marketing behind it is about this like aesthetic shift or something. It seems like, I don't know. I don't mean to
Well, anyway,
too much.
that is the definition of the cottagecore idea. If Taylor Swift is listening to this, I'm so sorry.
Like, you haven't gotten the chance to defend her yet.
I have.
What are the other Jack Antonoff songs though? Because there's another one that I really liked.
My Tears Ricochet?
That one was whatever.
That is self-produced, or it's self-written. I'm sorry. That might be.
Where did you find this?
If you go here, I'll pull it up on Wikipedia. All the songs
We're
says
gonna go
who
track by
are
track.
the
Wikipedia
writers and who are the producers.
And Jack Antonoff had a huge role in 1989. He produced half of it.
No,
and
he
Max
didn't.
Martin.
No.
Yeah, wasn't he?
Let me double check that. Max Martin is the primary producer in 1989.
Oh no! Reputation was half Max Martin.
Reputation is where Antonoff
half
comes into the
Antonoff.
picture.
Does Antonoff, I think, also does Carly, right?
He was in Fun.
Oh,
he
yeah,
was in he's in Bleachers, right?
Which I think are two meh
I don't know if he did
artists.
Carly,
but I think
Jepsen.
he does work with Carly.
Although Emotion is kind of that same sound,
I think Emotion like
right?
leans further into it, and that's why it's a much better album than anything Taylor's ever done. But that's a different episode.
Ooh,
Yeah.
hot take.
I did like Mirrorball a lot, and I really like. I guess if we're just talking about general tracks we like,
No, don't
okay,
save it
alright.
though. We gotta go track by track.
there's like two that I just was excited about.
Well, you'll get into it because I have some background you might not know about some of these songs.
Well, why don't we just get into the track list?
Get into
Alright.
the track list.
Alright.
The one.
The
Isn't
one.
that the first one?
Yeah, it's the one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
this
wait,
is
one of my first thoughts I just want to bring up, because from this song was another similarity that I noticed between these two albums was, and I think this is semi-relevant, is like both albums feature all lowercase letters.
Oh yeah.
And like the one, like the letter or the number one. Like
Right.
I think that's distinct because I think that is like, those are like modern aesthetics. It kind of appears like almost like text lingo or something.
Yeah.
Which obviously 100 Gecs takes to like a whole different level with their like, stupid fucking like XXs and like screen name fucking song title, like, but like.
There's some puppies coming over here. I think.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do think like.
Actually, I think it's a borrowed thing that hip hop started.
Yeah, I mean that's potentially arguable. I think in the 100 Gecs example, it's like internet culture shit and like text lingo, and I think Taylor Swift is like. I think Taylor Swift uses it in an attempt to seem relatable.
Yeah, maybe.
But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But I immediately thought of that when I saw like the one, the number one, and
Hey,
every
Brian,
song is lowercase.
Get that lantern
Will
fly.
do.
But that guy fast. Boy fast. Yeah. So yeah, but also not all of the song titles are lowercase. Like
They
if you,
are,
if
if
you
you-
look.
Are you on
No.
Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Well,
I
on
googled Taylor Swift folklore.
If I go on Apple Music,
I got
every
Taylor
song
Swift's
title is
personal
lowercase.
computer right here, and I got the masters and.
Yeah. What does it say on the fucking tape?
No, well, it says on what I'm reading, the only capitalized songs are My Tears Ricochet and Mirrorball.
That's
It's
so
only,
weird that they're.
That must be
capitalizing.
wrong.
Folklore is lowercase. When I look at it on Apple Music, every single song, the only thing capitalized is
What?
Bon Iver.
It's just
Yeah,
that-
because Bon Iver is important.
Yeah.
Um,
This is kind of a stupid thing to fucking
no, that's what I
focus
said.
on, but-
I was like, people are like, I want to hear their opinions on this album. It's like, well, it's capitalized.
It's like, dude, you downloaded the wrong record.
The wrong album.
The one I think was this is where I immediately had that feeling of like the beat is faceless. Like it's all about it's the Taylor show,
Ooh.
obviously. I thought it was pleasant. It was nice. It was one of the better instrumentals. Not memorable by any means, but I think it's also like it's covering the. All right, Taylor Swift is kind of like a lyrical grifter, I think, where her songs and her persona are all about like how people seem to like misrepresent her, and then every album is the same thing.
She's very obsessed with her public perception, or
Her
like trying to seem
reputation.
sort of like, fuck you, I'll show you who I really am.
And-
Well,
Empowered.
this one doesn't embody that.
I think
It's way less than before, you're
I think it immediately.
Well, I'm not
did,
saying
though.
the album. I'm saying the song.
Oh yes, you're right.
Well, I do think it's the first line is cringy. I'll admit that.
What's
is
the first
that?
line?
It's like I'm doing good. I'm on some new shit.
Yeah, all right, yeah, that was it. Like immediate cringe.
I'm doing
Im-
good. I'm on
Immediate
some
cringe.
new shit.
I want to see if I just had any other notes. on that.
Here's what I love about this song. I love how effortless the vocals are. She's not stretching. They're very effortless.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. It's
She
just-
puts no effort
They
into
do this so nicely.
I'm dead serious. I love how easily it goes from verse to chorus. It almost like the drum beat actually stays the same. I love how it's not trying to switch things up, and like there's these subtle strings in the background, I think, and the chord changes are nice. Piano's nice and bright. I really like the production on this. It's soft on the ears. I don't think it's boring though. I feel like there's this kind of quiet, dignified way about it.
Yeah.
You know, what did you think of this?
My notes for this was "Who is this for?" which I don't know why I put that there, and then I immediately put down like I think that there's gonna be a whole Gatsby vibe to this album, which it turned out there was, because I think there's a reference to like the Roaring '20s.
Yeah, I was
Which
gonna
was
make. I
another-
have a note on that.
It was
one.
kind of like an internet meme thing where people were like, "Oh, now that it's 2020s, like we gotta act like it's the Roaring '20s again."
That's not where. I don't think that's where it came.
I don't
from.
think that's.
I think that's semi-relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I
probably.
didn't think that's exactly what it
No,
was,
the,
but
the
I
whole
was.
20s thing is like a tired thing that she's been on that for like years and years.
Really?
That's like part of her aesthetic. Like I think ever since 1989 at least.
1989 is 1989. This is 1920.
No. I'm saying, but there's references of like a romanticized idea about like the Gatsby thing.
Really?
Like there's a
20th
song on
century.
Reputation that's about it. She's just like
Oh, really?
obsessed with that, and it's at this point it's nothing new. It's really tired actually.
I guess you're probably right. I sort of see things kind of how you're talking about this concept of like she wrote this album during COVID-19 2020 quarantine, and it is some comment on the Roaring '20s that this year isn't or something, as opposed to what the 1920s.
See, I don't think she even
is-
thought that deep into that.
She doesn't think
I
that much about anything.
No, she's very
This stupid
a
album is
very-
any indication.
My only comment is just that like I think that both of these albums are influenced by internet culture.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah,
I think
for sure.
that idea of the Roaring '20s being sort of a meme thing or something, and her making
She's
a
a very
joke about
smart
it and
woman,
referencing
but
it, yeah.
I don't think that's where that came from. I think she just happens to really enjoy that aesthetic of Roaring '20s.
Yeah.
And hey, there's nothing wrong with
Which
that.
every normie white girl does.
Yeah.
Well, that's
She's
that's
the-
exactly.
She's the original. She's the reason they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't. It's not like they read The Great Gatsby. Or maybe
Yeah.
they did.
I mean, I think that another thing is that this album does feel like very much fan service to like I feel like if you like
To
Taylor Swift,
Kevin.
there's no reason to
Yeah.
well, I guess sort of like
Kevin really likes
This one's
Bonnie
for you,
Bear.
Kevin.
if you like Taylor Swift, there's nothing new and scary here. Like you're gonna like this, and it's gonna be very pleasant. I put down
it's
that it
very
sounds.
safe.
Isn't
It-
that
it
what?
sounds safe.
Isn't that what we need right now?
Send wine.
Just a little normalcy.
Send white wine.
Yeah. Well, I put down that it sounds elegant, or at least it's trying to sound elegant. That was about it.
Yeah. That's a great
The whole
word.
album is trying to sound like very.
The main difference is that you don't think it came across as elegant. I did.
I mean, I'm not an elegant person, so I don't know what elegant.
I
really
disagree.
Is. Yeah.
Well, I think that's an interesting point. Is that I find this album not very relatable.
not at all.
And I think there's
Not
a
one
lot of
second.
attempts to come across as relatable, but I do think that while I might not be able to relate to it, I think there are millions of people, young people, who like will fucking love this. Like they will eat this shit
Oh
up.
yeah.
And in that way, I think this is 100% fan service, like you
Yep.
said. Like the only differences from her previous material in this, I think everything's super safe, and every change made, like there's not much risk, and it's 100% for her fans to like. I was listening to this album and I was like, I'm not very impressed, and I think this isn't. I also don't mean to be a dick because pop music, like I'm not like, oh, fucking pop music sucks, but I just think this isn't.
Well, no, I think the opposite. I think you really like the pop bangers.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
that's not what this is about.
But I'm sure that there are some fucking kids out there who like listen to this record and fucking bawling their eyes out, and they're like,
Oh, it's great.
"She's
Yeah.
so fucking beautiful." Which I mean, like that's fine. You can do
to-
that.
She totally is. Anyway, the one, Cardigan. Wait, so you know all the comparisons to Lana Del Rey that
Oh,
were
I
made
haven't
about
actually
this?
looked into this. Or
As much as I do not care for this album overall, it is a billion times better than any
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey.
I think she did the Lana Del Rey thing better than Lana Del Rey.
I mean, anyone could. Like literally a piece of wood.
Jesus.
I despise Lana Del Rey. I just had to go on record.
But Pat, you were mentioning that Cardigan was like the lead single, and you were a little underwhelmed that it wasn't like a banger. you
yeah,
know?
this and I would consider Cardigan and the next two songs like the singles along with Betty.
Oh, we got
God,
to talk
Betty
about
was
that
so
one.
bad.
We'll get there.
Oh
We'll get
no,
there.
I
Well,
love Betty. I loved Betty.
Yeah. Well, this is the like sister song, or Betty's the sister song to Cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
Their lyrics
Oh,
are
there's
like
3.
about the same thing. Oh, okay, yeah, you know more about this than I do.
I'll tell you guys about it. It's
Thanks.
actually it's not good though.
All right.
It's kind of weird.
I-
Anyway, Cardigan was good. Last Great American.
I was gonna say on Cardigan though, there was a
Dynasty.
lyric that really brought out the fact that I can't relate to this.
What was
She
it?
has some lyrics on here that are very like, not. They're like there's one that I wrote down was chasing shadows in the grocery line. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel when I read that or when I hear
What
that.
is-
I heard it and was like, this probably has some specific meaning to her.
Chasing,
Which is cool.
I don't even know what it
Like
could mean.
my thought was that maybe she's looking at like tabloids on the like when you go to the grocery store and you're waiting in line. There's
Oh.
like tabloids there. And
I thought maybe she was like seeing ghosts or something.
there's no way it's that cool. It's
I
got to
think
be so
it
much
doesn't
lamer.
mean anything.
So
And
yeah,
I can't help but see
Jack Antonoff
everything.
was like,
as-
"This will be cool, right?"
Jack Antonoff didn't produce this song. It's,
Oh,
it's the
whatever.
other dude, and that's why it sucks. But like I
Fuck
I
you,
think
Aaron.
everything on this album is an attempt to come off as relatable, and it is totally hollow.
how often is Taylor Swift waiting in the grocery line? I
She doesn't fucking
assume
grocery-
never.
yeah.
I assume never.
I disagree. She, I saw her last week. I saw her at Wise the
She
other
posted
day.
a picture of herself on Instagram in a grocery store. She
No.
must have been there. She couldn't have lied about that. She,
The line immediately got me upset because I thought it was maybe a chance to either be relatable
Yeah.
or like try to be like, oh, here's some like even in my daily life I got like there's demons around me. And I was like,
Taylor
big
Swift
cringe.
demons.
It's interesting. I didn't know that you would read much into that one. That's
No, I
interesting.
mean I don't know.
Anything else? Or
If a like small indie band said that, I would have thought that's a cool line.
oh, but because she said it.
Like if you
not.
put that in a movie song, I'd be like, that's cool. Which I think it brings up an interesting point that we don't really need to get into, but like the who says the lyrics is also very important.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And whether or not they're good.
No, I mean it's
It's like an
definitely.
obvious thing.
There's context.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind the last Great American Dynasty?
Yes.
Oh, you do.
I have feelings about it.
Tell me. Do you know?
No,
Brian?
I didn't
All right,
here's the
so
thing.
Here you start.
I think this is where I first started to think like this album is, you know, like this is some bizarre attempt at relatability where like this song is about the woman who owned Taylor Swift's mansion before she did.
That's what
And
I
it's
got
like
the sense
some girl boss thing where it's like,
Okay.
hell yeah, like 1920s lady who like literally inherited like the like Standard Oil fortune and one of the wealthiest women in the United States. Like,
Yeah.
And Taylor Swift is like writing the song about Taylor Swift owns a mansion. There was someone who owned it before her. I've never owned a mansion. The people who love her music don't own mansions, but
Well,
they
that sounds like a Pat problem. though.
yeah, exactly. Well, I think, like, I see that as fucking stupid, but she's 100% successful at it. Like, her demographic, like, wants that fucking fantastical lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, they see that and they're like, wow, that's fucking, they don't see it as some, like, weird money flex or something. Like,
But it
think
is a
that's-
money flex, and it's a big girl boss thing. I'm glad I actually
Yeah.
I didn't read that,
Yeah.
but I got that just from the lyrics.
I do kind of like how she started writing songs not just about herself and how she's kind of looking back at history, even if it is about a mansion that she
It's
bought.
about things she appreciates. It is somewhat about her. She thinks that shit's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but she was really telling the story of somebody else.
Yes.
Which is like, but for her, come on, she's like always talking about herself.
oh, you're totally right. Yeah.
Just like every other pop star.
it's
I mean,
different
how,
for her. I'll give
you
her
can't
that.
No,
really.
you're right.
It is
We'll
give her
different.
that.
And I
One
think
point
it is
for
a little
Taylor.
bit of a songwriting flex to be able to write something. It's about something you know, but not necessarily yourself. And I don't know. I thought the I thought the story was interesting because it was like, yeah, the husband died or something, and this woman, like, everybody hated her because
and she had like $1
she would-
billion.
well, she was like a billionaire, and she would throw these like parties in this small
Again,
town.
Gatsby.
It was in Rhode Island, I think, right? It's
Yeah,
not
I
like
think
this
so.
big booming city. And she brought all of her like New York friends down, and
Yeah.
they were loud. She like dyed the neighbor's dog pink, or something. Like,
Yeah,
she got in
yeah.
an argument with.
I think
the,
lime
for
green.
breast cancer.
I think
It's for a good
it's
cause.
lime green for the record. I think.
yeah.
it was lime green. And she was like, yeah, everybody hated her, but she just was like doing what she wants. And
I think the song. The song is secretly about Hillary Clinton.
That's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. It's like it's literally that. It's just, it's so dumb.
It's
We gotta stop talking about it before we get killed. But
I see a sniper right now.
they're in the castle. They're just waiting there, like, take the shot.
Headshot.
Triple kill. Anyway,
All right, we should
wait, did
stop
I have
talking about
anything
this
to say
song
about the
right
song
now.
other than I said it was unrelatable?
I like the song.
I think I liked the
it's
ending.
catchy.
It's
Oh,
track 3.
this was one of the catchier songs on the record.
It's the one that I remember.
They had her running this town, ruining everything. That was the line.
I think there's like something about the end that I liked that I made a note of.
And then it was bought by me. That's the last line.
Yeah, it's like good. Now none of us can do that.
I don't know. She tied it back to her own experience.
What's track 4?
Exile.
Track 4 is the
I can
Bon
see
Iver.
you standing.
Yeah, we already kind of ripped this one. Oh, it's so
We back.
good that we didn't do 3 albums. This is
Yeah,
this
no,
is
this
gonna take
is-
Oh
forever.
yeah,
I'm
I
having
knew this
fun.
was gonna happen.
I'm glad that you
Exile.
didn't. Yeah.
So,
Good thinking.
what were you gonna say? First take.
There's something about this song that we haven't brought up yet, and
What's
this
that?
is the mysterious fourth figure of this album.
Oh.
Do you know about this?
No.
So every track is either produced by Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, or that Desner guy.
Yeah.
And every song is either written by those 3 people and, Bon Iver. But this song is Taylor Swift, Justin Vernon, and William Bowery.
Who's that?
So, either of you heard about this?
No.
William Bowery is credited as a co-writer on Exile and on Betty. And if you look him up, the only thing you find are articles that are like, who is William Bowery? Is he...
Oh, it's a fake name.
She says that it's a friend of hers.
Hmm.
People are confused as to why he would be on a Taylor Swift album, but no one knows who he is. He's not on the internet.
That's kind of creepy. I
And-
like that.
Well, this is... So people are like, oh, is this some other celebrity under a... It's
A
just a writing
pseudonym?
credit. It's not a performance credit, I don't think.
It's a
right?
pseudonym.
Is it a pseudonym? Is it another celebrity under a pseudonym? Is it just Taylor Swift herself? Is it a character in the song? I think this is just another hollow bullshit thing that is supposed to make you go, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then you think about the album.
But what do you think
that
it
doesn't
really
work.
is, though? You
I think
just
it's a
person?
marketing thing. I think it's stupid.
But you think it's just a guy, or you think there's...
I think it's no one.
Oh, you think it's no one?
It's 0 people. It's something they thought up to do so that you heard this story and you went, oh, it's kind of creepy or cool, and thought that the album had
well,
more
guess what?
depth
It fucking
than
worked.
It actually does. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They did this very well.
I
Like,
love that
I'm
Kevin
playing-
is just the Taylor Swift demographic.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, damn, that rules.
You're pulling the curtain back, and I'm still into it. I love this song. Yeah, you said you like the ending, too, right?
yeah, they kind of both sing a different part and go at it like a duet. Yeah, it's
I
cool.
like the part where it's like where you get he's like, so step right out, and there's harmonies and all that shit. It's good. I like it. It actually reminds me more of the second Bon Iver record too, with all the harmonies and stuff. Oh, you're not into that. Okay.
Oh no, I mean that's like one of my favorite records, but like
No, I know you're
I just
into
didn't
that.
I didn't
but-
get that at all. So
Okay.
it's I think it's also very interesting to now because I don't listen to the first Bon Iver record much.
I do.
And it doesn't even feel like a Bon Iver record to me. So, but it's weird to hear him singing over something so bland, because it's been years since I've heard him.
What do you think of what the subject matter is?
It's something
Do you-
about
do you know about-
a lover being exiled. Probably, I don't know.
No, it's about Justin Vernon and Taylor Swift used to date, right?
Really.
they did?
No, they didn't. I'm saying in the
Oh.
context of the song.
They're like 2 lovers singing to
They're
each
two
other.
they're 2 lovers, and they broke up. I don't know who ended it, but Justin's like, I see you with your new boy or whatever.
Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, like it hurt. Yeah, I don't like seeing that. and Taylor's like, I gave you so many chances or some shit like that. It's like, why are you staring at me? Like, I don't know.
They're both like 30. Get over it.
So you're supposed to think like, oh, Justin's the victim there, but Taylor's like, no, Justin was the abuser. or
That's some like
whatever.
stupid Riverdale level
Oh yeah,
analysis. I don't.
it's pretty surface.
That doesn't
level.
matter to me.
But anyway, I like the song.
Do you like that story though? Is that another thing? Where you
No,
buy in?
it didn't feel like it's like obviously Justin Vernon would not write something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's a Taylor Swift song. What am I expecting?
I think the other thing is that it's weird to hear him singing something that's like legible English, instead of him just saying like.
what's in I've been sleeping in a stable, mate.
Yeah,
that
like
kind of
that. Or
thing.
like We
Or
Were Young
weird-
Mastodons. That's the one that I
Yeah.
like from the last record.
Just random words.
Yeah, which is I like that he does that, but I guess it's maybe nice to hear him singing
Yeah, and I like the
like
production.
English.
Anything else to say about this? I think it's
I
pretty
mean,
self-explanatory.
It's kind of yeah. I don't.
Do you like him at all?
I guess I listened to his first record when it would have come out and was like kind of becoming a trendy indie thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really stuck with any. I haven't listened to any of his other records really, and it hasn't been something that I've come back to.
He's
I
really
s-
good at like pretty
Yeah.
guitar lines and stuff.
I don't think he's like stupid or irrelevant or something. I don't know. It's nothing that I've kept up with.
Yeah, I mean his new records they haven't connected with me quite as much.
What?
No, the latest one.
Oh, the latest one.
And
Not the latest
I
two?
love it. No, that one.
Oh
is,
yeah, I was gonna say
that one's hot. But
What's that one?
it's called
I.
no, the third, the one that we like
The very newest one. Is
Oh,
Hot
I.
Hot. I is hot.
No, 20 to a Million is hot.
Ah,
So
okay.
here's a little Bon Iver crash course. For Emma Forever Ago, first album.
Yeah.
That's the folky one that you
Yeah.
listen to. Then Bon Iver.
There's Blood Bank. You right?
Well, that's the EP between the two, where Woods is on it and Kanye sampled
That's
it.
that's
Oh,
that's
hell
the only
yeah.
reason it's
And
important.
then there's a self-titled, Bon Iver. Then there's 22 a Million, where it's all kind of he takes all the stuff that he learned from working with Kanye
Yeah.
and applied it to his own music.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool and glitchy, and then there's this other album called I, which
Which kind of is like more
It's okay,
more
it's just-
naturalistic approach to.
yeah, but it doesn't connect with me quite as much. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got more like folk stuff again and more gospel. That's the other thing. It's
Yeah,
more like
a little
soulful
bit.
gospel stuff, but
My Tears Ricochet.
boring. Forgot it.
I didn't like that one.
Don't care for
This
it.
is the only song where Taylor Swift is the only credited writer.
Oh yeah.
I brushed my teeth to
Yeah.
this song today.
Oh, and this is the first Jack Antonoff song of that on the album.
Yeah.
And then it starts a string of Antonoff tracks.
This is the first one that I wasn't wholly impressed with, which is saying something because I really like this album. But
I think I actually thought this one was kind of like relatively pretty, or I guess this was the first Antonoff one, and I started to like. I was like, oh, this production is more interesting than I've heard on so far on this. album.
terrible title.
That's something that comes up with some of the other songs. Is any of the songs with the title in the lyrics? It kind of was really obvious. Like I wasn't looking at the track list when I listened to it the first time, and I was like, "Oh, is this song called Illicit Affairs?" And then, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I have something to say about that one.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I don't really remember My Tears Ricochet that much.
It gives me a big Gatsby thing because it's like about her wake and she's dead, and like her lover is there like crying.
yeah.
And it seemed again just Gatsby stuff, like using death to spite somebody. I don't know, lame to me, but
Mirrorball?
love it. Reminded me of
one
Copeland.
of the better songs of the album.
It reminded you of Copeland.
Reminded me of Copeland, which you
Oh.
should listen to it and
Whoa.
think about that.
Yeah.
The last 2 or 3 Copeland records kind of are.
Hush.
I don't know
That
if
part?
something with the vocals sounds very Copeland.
Yeah.
And the way it sounds really pleasant and soft, but not as like.
I
This
like
is-
how it starts with the chorus.
Okay, so
You like that?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I do like that too. I think that's a good thing, and
Yeah.
I guess that's just like a catchy pop thing that I like. But my immediate thought was I thought that this sounded like a Cranberry song almost.
Oh yeah,
Which is like
yeah.
maybe a little bit of a stretch, but it's just like very chorused vocals and like the reverbed tambourine in the background. I was like, oh, I like this,
Right.
but obviously it's kind of
It does
different.
sound a little Cranberries-esque.
Just
yeah.
like those that's like an Antonoff thing, I guess. But that's
Well, he's trying to
80s,
emulate
90s
that kind
inspired.
of era, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit.
And it's a little bit of a departure from the rest of the like sonics of this record, but I thought that was great.
Yeah, I mean the lyrics aren't super deep.
She's
Like,
a disco
She's
ball.
a disco ball, but honestly, I think it
Right.
revels in that the
Just
surface level.
spins around and just
I'll show you every version of yourself
Oh,
tonight.
yeah.
Tonight, I'll get you out on the floor.
Is that it? That's actual lyrics?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
down dirty.
I'll show you every version of yourself tonight. I want you to know I'm a mirror ball.
I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds pretty stupid, but
No, it's awesome.
yeah. But it's like as far as songs go, I like this one definitely the best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So good job.
It
Troy.
actually didn't fit on the album. It was better than all the other songs. So I don't think it
Ooh,
was-
I don't know because we're gonna get some good ones.
There's one other good song.
7.
Oh, so 7 is funny because
Shout out Pennsylvania.
This is where it says Pennsylvania.
Yeah, all right, that's the one, yeah.
And my first thought was like, I was like, oh my god, like Taylor Swift is so representative of the like normie Pennsylvanian like middle upper class girl. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, where is she from?
She's from
Why I'm
Pennsylvania.
Missing.
Why I'm Missing.
Was Reading.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Why I'm Missing.
Yeah, what the
I mean,
fuck?
I don't know if you remember this, but when we went to Millersville, like, their first year, you would meet, like, hundreds of people that were like, yeah, I went to high school, like, in the county over from Taylor Swift, and, like, my older sister was in her grade and said that she was, like, a bitch. And it's like, I, like, was meeting several people that told me stuff like that, and it's just so stupid and cringy that they're trying to use someone else.
Well, they kept bringing it up, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, like, something I heard many times, and it always made me upset.
People love doing shit like that. Like, they're like, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, man, like, I had, like, a brother who, like, knew this guy, and, like, he, like, went to the same record store that, like, Tiger's Jaw went to. Like, it's just, like, that's completely it's meaningless.
Yeah.
Like,
But people would always try to say, like, they would validate their opinions on Taylor Swift because of it. And usually it was negative, like, oh, they said that she slept with every guy. And it was like, okay, shut up. Yeah. So
what if
lamest
she
thing.
did, huh?
Did she ever go back to Pennsylvania? That's what I actually...
Never again.
Never, because it was weird that she brought it up, and I was like... I just thought, like, did she go, like...
she's talking about, like, flying over Pennsylvania.
But she's not...
Yeah.
No, I thought... Is she?
I have to
Yeah, she does.
later.
Yeah, I think floating or something.
Well, here's the
like
thing. She's not
Look at
shouting
this
out...
fox!
Ooh, I like that.
Yo!
Yeah.
Watch the fox run.
Yo.
She's not talking about Pennsylvania in it's like in a passing way.
Yeah, totally.
She's not showing off. She's not trying to be trendy or something like that when she's saying it.
She wouldn't last 24 hours in Pennsylvania.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's tough out here.
There's foxes.
A bunch of lantern flies here.
Yeah.
But you know what the song's about?
What?
Well, also the production on it is cool, right? This is like kind of what the first mainly acoustic guitar driven song.
And
right?
this is actually, I think this was the first, I think this is Desner or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah, it
and
is.
this was the first time I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, this is the first one of his that I was like, I like this production.
Yeah, the vocals are sweet, saccharine. You got the acoustic guitar. I think. Yeah, no, this is this one because I confused this one in August, which is the one after it. It's about a childhood friend of hers, and it's like a very platonic. It's like a platonic love song. So I thought it was really nice, and it's about how they used to play when they were 7, and how, you know, her friend's dad was like always mad or something like that.
And then that girl got into heroin, and
Ooh, that would be left turn.
The Pennsylvanian old friend story.
Yeah, that friend is definitely like probably mad at her now.
She went to temple and
We probably know her.
Yeah.
All right, guys, the friend's me. I was friends with Taylor
Never
Swift.
hang out with me anymore.
I'm not getting the royalty checks from the song she wrote about me, and I'm pissed.
But there's a line on it where it's we used to say your house was always haunted, your dad was always mad, and that must be why, or something like that. I was like, oh, that's a cool line. Where they kind of thought that her friend's house was haunted, but it was really just because her dad was like,
There's like
not a good presence there or something.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like we talked about this before, but like one of the common themes in finding like haunted places or places with like poltergeist activity is that it's people with like mental illnesses like depression or schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not nearly like an interesting enough fact to be something that Taylor Swift thought about when she was making this.
Not giving her enough credit.
Yeah, I guess, but
I guess I do hold her to higher standards than a regular artist, especially like that's what my thought is when I'm like thinking about this album versus 100 Gecs or something. Was I was thinking a lot of these songs like she is a multi-millionaire. She has
should know better.
Every resource in the music industry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she claims that she writes these songs and she has her producers help her with the writing, but like, you know, she could easily just pay people to write. To get a group of professional songwriters together, like the biggest in the industry, and still just put her name on it and say she wrote it. But I think at the end of the day, a lot of these songs I'm not impressed with them, and my first thought is like, oh, someone could make a better pop song in their bedroom, and people currently do, which I think 100 Gecs made better pop songs in
Trying
their
to compare
bedroom.
them, like Taylor Swift, remember we were talking about Some Kind of Monster, where we're at the point now where Metallica is a brand, right?
Oh yeah,
Taylor Swift
is a brand
that employs hundreds of people, and it's like it is totally different than the artistic vision of a small.
I think that this album is like it's almost for these types of artists, their albums aren't even like artistic albums. They're sort of like advertising for their products, for their merchandise, and for their live shows, which don't fucking happen anymore. But like,
Well, the 20 variants that
Yeah,
Brian
that's
was
why.
talking
And
about.
I heard something about like there was, I don't know if this is true or just conspiracy theory, but it was like who decides how, is it Billboard decides how many records you sell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all weird.
And they
based
were
on streaming
changing
stuff.
how the metric for it, and like she got them out just in time where each different variant would count as a sale
Oh yeah.
or something like that.
Oh,
But
I
it was
didn't
it's
know about
apparently
that.
very strategic how she was putting
Gotcha.
out like, oh, here's 8 different CD covers and like
Yeah.
10 different LP variants.
That's kind of strange.
But even,
I don't know
like-
how that's true, but it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Not even using 100 Gecs as an example, but like, you know, the idea of like a bedroom pop record. Like, I would suggest Billie Eilish like makes 100 times more interesting and catchy pop music than this album. And I 100% believe that her and her brother made that in their bedroom.
Oh yeah.
Really skeptical about her brother because he seems like a creepy guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, he like, I don't know, like if this is derailing too much, but he like dates women that look and dress like his little sister, which I don't know if that's him telling his sister how to dress off of, or she's trying to emulate them or something. But that makes me very uncomfortable.
I am.
They do have a very close.
And the
relationship.
fact that it's like, I guess as like a 16 or 17-year-old when she was putting out like songs about like seducing dads, I think that's.
Oh yeah, that's on.
And then if it was a girl doing it, it's one thing. But if it's a
what song
older
is about
man,
seducing dads?
the bad
Bad
guy.
guy?
Yeah.
It's like I'm a fuck your dad type.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
should say it like
that's
that,
her
but-
being shocking. It's not.
No, but I think the fact that her brother is doing that, I think, is really problematic. It makes me not want to engage in that.
You
at
might
all.
be. You may be.
It's
reading
kind of
into
cringy,
it.
but this is not the first time in like music history where some young girl is singing songs about fucking people and like
No, it's
people are
not the-
making millions of dollars.
It's not the
off of
young.
it.
I think it's the fact that
It's
it's
more
the
him.
brother
Yeah.
doing it, and then the
Yeah.
brother like has romantic interests with people that look similar. The
Well,
whole
it's like
thing.
when you
I
have
don't
a
wanna get
friend
into
who
it.
like
Yeah.
you know somebody who's like dating somebody with the same name as their sibling, and you're like, dude.
But then profiting off of it, I think it makes me not want to.
He's sponsored by Fender, and he plays a bunch. He's has like Acoustasonic
Yeah.
tellies, and he's got some like wacky guitars.
I worked a show of hers at UT like right before she
Really?
popped off. Like I think that album had just come out, but like Phineas opened for her.
Yeah.
And like I set up the fucking stage with her dad. Like they had this whole crazy fucking spider metal bullshit
Holy
like
shit.
stage prop.
I didn't
and
know
like
that.
her dad Pat was like had a fucking headlamp on, and he, we just fucking put a bunch of the pieces together for it.
Yeah.
And then I saw her set, and it was
Did you talk to her?
no.
Did you talk to Pat? The
I
dad?
talked to her dad, yeah, because he
Was
was
he
like,
cool?
"What's your name?" And I was like, "Pat," and he was like, "Oh, my name's Pat too." And then he was like, "Okay, cool. Like, put this piece in there, and then put that piece."
Does that
in there,
mean
and then carry
she's
that over
now
there.
my daughter?
Yeah.
Billy's now your daughter. I guess I have to give you my daughter.
I'm like, how do you feel about your daughter like seducing your community fathers?
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. What were we talking about?
We were talking. Sorry,
seven-
I derailed it
seven.
because I brought up. We were talking. We were talking about the stupid fucking song, and we were talking about how Taylor Swift is a fucking.
Well,
it
hey.
has
Brand, yeah.
all the resources in the music industry, but there's people in their bedrooms making, I think, more interesting songs
Yeah.
than this.
I agree with you. That being said, I do like this song.
It gives
I think
me
it's
great comfort.
good. What is that from?
It's from how you feel.
I think we're on August.
We're on August. This is another good one too. I don't really remember it, but
I said it feels very audience oriented, which
know
I guess
how it
was
goes?
another fan service. No, but yes, because
What?
it's like
I remember
August
it.
slipped away like a bottle of wine
oh, I like
because
that.
you weren't mine or something, and it's just like, okay,
Oh, come
this
on.
is for the white women.
You got to
out
break the
there.
wine out.
Yeah.
What is so wrong with that?
I will say I was drinking wine when I listened to this song.
Sometimes you got to just, uncork a little bit. And,
You're like taking a sip and you hear that lyric and you're like, oh, fuck her.
I immediately had to throw up. I will say August does disappear.
oh,
That
sorry.
scared me so bad.
It's as an ad break. All I want to do is hear 2 seconds.
Oh,
'cause-
dude, I have Spotify. I could have just played it without the ad.
Fucking amateur.
Yeah.
My one note that I had on this song was that,
Yeah.
like, in terms of, like, the album having, like, like A-level tracks
Yeah.
that are, like, the singles, and then the rest of the album is, like, songs that aren't as good as the singles, but they're good. You want them to be good. Like, this is how I thought every B-level song on this album
Oh,
should
yeah.
sound,
Mhm.
but they don't.
Yeah, well, that's actually, I kind of agree with that. I was thinking in my head when I was listening to this, it's like I feel like I need to be picking out a coat at like Bloomington Coat Factory, and this song is in the background.
Well, that's what she's wearing, some stupid fucking big ass coat like on the album cover, and it's like
it's cold, dude.
Read the fucking Wikipedia for this thing. It's like it's all like I don't know. I swear to God, like she has a fucking team that wrote the Wikipedia page for this record.
Well,
and, like,
yeah,
or just the stands did.
Yeah.
Oh, this is me trying. Unless you had anything else to say.
No, August was a very whatever song. This is me trying was kind of interesting, right? It was on the more interesting side of songs.
This is me trying.
This is her trying
what is
and
it
her
about?
failing.
Oh,
what does Yoda say about try not?
She's been doing a lot of
There is no
not.
try.
I liked the. No, wait, I did.
This one's okay.
I was gonna say I hated the lyrics because there's a lyric about like her classmate.
What is it?
It's something about like I was behind in my classmates, and it's like Taylor, you haven't been in school. For
Yeah, is this the one with the line about
decades.
homeroom? Like, oh no,
yeah,
that's Betty. I think
That's Betty.
Yeah. I mean, both are
She
so
switched her
stupid.
homeroom. No.
Okay, sorry. But it's just weird that, like, imagine writing a song about high school right now.
Yeah, it seems so.
Like, shut up.
I don't remember that
So
line
dumb.
from that song.
It's in, I think, verse 2. But it immediately upset me because it's just, like... Again, maybe it's trying to be relatable to the younger crowd, but it's just, to me, it's just like...
Yeah.
I don't know, it's stupid. It's like,
Well,
get over it.
unfortunately, gentlemen,
Yeah.
this brings us to the worst song on the album,
Wait.
Illicit Affairs.
Oh. Yeah, it was a bad
The only
song.
thing I had on
but-
this, the next 4 songs, I only have like notes that are like, this is boring and like I don't.
Well, no. After
This is
that,
the
it gets
low on
better,
the
I
album.
think.
This is the very...
You
like,
know, so we all can agree that the Illicit Affairs is bad.
Illicit
Yeah, I
Affairs
can
is...
say
Well, I
that.
mean, the album's bad, but...
And that's the what is it? And that's the
It's
thing about Illicit Affairs.
Illicit Affairs, Invisible String, Mad Woman, just garbage songs.
Oh, whoa,
Just
whoa.
garbage. Just
slow your
absolute
roll.
filler. I will say the album felt like not nearly as long as I thought it would.
If your lyric
I thought it
has,
felt way too long.
if your lyric has, and that's the thing about, fuck you. I just think it's such like a tired cliche.
Well, the thing,
Lyrical cliche.
and you could tell it's the name of the song when she says it.
Illicit Affairs, Pat. That's what I'm talking about.
Illicit. Does she say fuck in this song?
No.
Oh.
No.
She says fucking Betty.
She says,
Oh, it's so
fucking Mad
cringy.
Woman.
It's
She's
so
like
cringy.
mouthing fuck you forever. or
I do
something.
think that this string of 4 songs I was entirely uninterested in.
I don't understand. Invisible String is the best song in the album.
Oh my god. Maybe I'll have to listen to it again, but
But easily.
I cannot remember any of these songs.
Well,
Invisible String
String-
was a shower song. I was just...
Invisible String. Listen to it again. It is the best song in the album, hands down.
What about
I'd be
Mirrorball
really
and...
fucking annoyed if I listen to this song again because you told me to and it still sucks.
I wasted 3 minutes of your life.
You haven't brought up the other best song, which is...
Mad Woman.
No, after Mad Woman. I liked Epiphany.
I like Epiphany.
I don't remember it,
Mad,
but
all right,
I
I'll
know I
say this
liked
about
it.
Mad Woman. It's about her record label thing.
Yeah.
That whole thing that happened and went down. You know about that?
Is that when she... what's the one where she talks about, like, Bad Blow was on the radio?
That's something different.
That's
I
so
think.
stupid. It made me
No,
upset.
this is like because what happened to her was messed up. They basically stole the rights to her songs,
Yeah, okay, I know
Big
about that.
Machine, and that
Yeah.
fucking dickhead, whoever was running, I forget his name. Him and his wife were basically like stole the masters to her songs, and she doesn't have the rights to them or something like that.
Because that's why she wasn't on
And
Spotify.
They also
right?
just gaslighted her and made her sound like she was crazy or crazy for being mad about it or something.
Yeah.
It's just weird. So she wrote a song about it. So I feel for her there. It's pretty shitty. Epiphany. Yeah, that one's about her like grandfather or something.
Okay, cool. I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel like
Yeah.
when someone's like, "Oh, cool, like this one." It's like it's about that, right? And I'm just like, "Sure."
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it doesn't. I thought the song was cool at the time. I probably won't listen to it
By the way,
again,
we're
but-
13 songs in. This album never ends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have just absolute garbage like Betty coming up, which I think we should just
All right, you want to get into
I think
Betty?
we should just skip to Betty.
skip to
All right,
Betty.
let's
yeah.
go to Betty.
Betty's actually the only one that I have anything left to comment on. I mean,
All right,
you can
go.
feel free to talk about the other ones, but
Yeah, I think I wrote blah for the next couple, and then Betty
What-
was
well,
like
Pat,
all
what do you
caps
think
blah.
of Betty?
oh, I thought it's hilarious. Well, there's a harmonica on it. And it's like
Yeah.
a harpsichord or something, or like maybe it's a 12-string guitar.
Okay.
But
Something actually different on this.
yeah, I thought this was. I was like, oh shit, I can't imagine Taylor Swift actually playing a harmonica. That seems kind of comedic to me.
No.
But oh, and then I wrote, she says fuck like shocked emoji, shocked emoji, shocked emoji. Like,
What was the line?
I can't fucking remember, dude.
Okay, all right.
And
It
that-
has something to do with like she shows up at this girl's house, and then isn't like Invited In or something like that.
Yeah, no, well, it's about the string
it's
of
again
three
really high
songs that
school.
starts with Cardigan. It's about a love triangle.
Yeah.
There are two women and one guy, and the guy cheats on the one woman with the
threesome,
other. And you find out by Betty that it's actually a group of high schoolers.
What the
And it's so stupid.
Illicit Affairs is from the perspective of the woman who's cheating on with, right? Cardigan is the original girlfriend who's being cheated on, and then Betty is from the perspective of the guy. And he's like, I'm standing at your front porch. What's he say? He's
don't
like,
know.
let me into your party, or something.
Oh, and so this was the other William Bowery song.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
This is
he's
such a
the third
banger.
man.
That's what people
Yeah,
potentially
alright.
think.
Oh man, I don't want to give this any credence of
I don't-
being interesting.
No, it's a good song.
Like I can't care less about
I
that.
definitely think this is the catchiest song on the second side of the album.
Wait, so what's that?
This is the catchiest song on the second side of the album.
Okay. Until you re-listen to Invisible String.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
it's
actually.
gonna be so trash.
This is the catchiest song on the second side of the
By
album.
the way, Fantano,
below-
we didn't mention Fantano at all yet, but he loves Betty.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder. What a moron.
And Betty was named after somebody's kid, too.
Wait, what score did he give it? Because it has no credence on what I.
7, I think?
Really?
Yeah.
What an idiot. Like if you gave this a 7, fine, but like, come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't
Well, he
even-
wanted to save it. So, so anything else
Betty.
about like? Okay, so we were just talking about like Fantano has bad opinions, which is shocking. But I thought Peace was okay, but the problem is it's
Didn't
like
like it.
it's like bluesy. I
Yeah,
think I
this
liked
was.
it.
This sounds like I, Pony Bear.
Yeah, it's like, but it was
Dun-dun-dun-dun. It's like a pentatonic riff.
Yeah.
Like
It was
a bluesy pentatonic
really
riff.
basic sounding, but it puts more of a focus on the lyrics, which were really stupid.
Yeah, they're really...
Like,
yeah.
okay, the lyrics on this whole record are just god awful.
I
was
won't
uninterested in
say
the-
anything about that. I mean, they're very...
It's like a little upset.
No,
it's alright.
they are very simple. I can't... It's not deep, but like...
But I don't even think it fits like the music, because like the sound is really stripped back. Her vocals are at the front, so you're obviously going to be listening to lyrics too.
Mhm.
And then they're not even like they're most interesting when they're confusingly stupid. Like when it's like the chasing
Yeah.
ghosts in
And
the
then the
grocery store.
grocery
It's
line.
like,
Oh, it's like just esoteric enough to make you wonder, but it doesn't actually hold any meaning.
Who's
but it's like
who's
I
William
just have a
Bowery?
bias against her, I guess.
The album should be called "Who Is William Bowery."
Yeah.
That's like there's got to be some sort of like Reddit thread.
It's the record's called like Folklore. Like it's
Which
like
is
supposed
so
to be
unfitting.
semi-mystical or something. I actually think this album is like 100% successful at what it would like to be, which is an album that will have good reception for Taylor Swift and make her a lot of money, and her fans will love it. But it is just artistically uninteresting, and that's fine. Like they did what they wanted.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
that's it. you know?
They did what they wanted.
Here, here.
I'm just a
I didn't
pretentious
like
asshole
Peace.
who's like not gonna like it.
And I didn't love Hoax either.
Hoax was boring and bad.
It's a nice
I'm
ending, but
Hoax
I
more
didn't,
like
I didn't love
fucking
it.
jokes on maybe jokes.
It's more like this album's a hoax. It's not real.
Jokes.
Maybe it's a point to that like Folklore is all hoaxes. Like
Yeah.
Bigfoot
I
is
thought
fake.
I thought it was
It's all
a
fighter
dig
over.
at Mr. Trumpy. 'Cause,
Oh, was it
Really?
really?
Yeah, because I thought it was
That's
like,
something I'm really
yeah,
interested
because
in
he's like,
hearing.
yeah, he thinks everything's a hoax.
I'm really interested
Yeah.
in hearing Taylor Swift political opinions, even if they're
I'm
good
not.
and valid.
Oh no, I know we're political. Everybody knows we're
No,
political.
I know. I'm saying it completely sarcastically because I have no
okay.
interest in that.
Oh, you have no interest.
Yeah. Well, I don't get the title Folklore for this. It doesn't seem like the right.
There's an Opeth song called Folklore.
I'm sure, and like that was another. Like I
She
forget
heard it, was like, fuck.
who was the metal band. There was someone from a metal band. Like, was like Taylor Swift album cover looks like ours, like some old black metal band.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was over probably.
Was it over?
Probably.
I feel like they got to be.
Yo, these ants are carrying away this dead lantern fly
That is more
carcass.
interesting than.
Come on, guys, go.
Carry me away, brother.
I was like, is that dead lanternfly walking?
That's pretty black metal.
Yeah, that fucking rules.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm thinking of like the Godfather thing where he's like, look how they massacred my boy. It's just like they carried away.
General thoughts on this? Yeah, I agree with Pat that it's you come home from Target and you're putting groceries away and your Amazon Alexa is playing this album.
Yes,
It's probably
that's
it's very
exactly.
fitting. You have a very white interior of your
Yes,
kitchen.
very white.
All your
Everything about
furniture.
this album is very white.
It's very IKEA. It's very IKEA. I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
It's am I glad I listened to it?
No.
I could have not listened to this album.
Oh wow. I just feel bad right now.
I don't think it added anything.
Is Lover better than this or not? because I didn't listen.
No.
to
What
that
I listened to
trash.
Lover, I liked Lover better than this.
I've heard Cruel Summer in like every like a song here or there.
It may have higher highs, but consistently, I do think this is her.
But I think this doesn't have
Best.
any highs.
Yeah.
Mirrorball.
Listen to Invisible String again.
I will
Is that-
listen to that.
Yeah,
The stakes are high.
what
It's
if
about
that-
like a fucking spider web.
So here's the thing. I feel like there's this thing that happens where if you recommend someone music and they don't listen to it, you want to recommend it again,
Yeah.
and then you basically ruined it by doing
Yeah,
that.
but it's like, just
Yeah.
shut up, dude.
'Cause I feel like I did that to you recently with the Daughters record because I thought you'd like it.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
just didn't.
And I didn't. Oh, I didn't hate it though. I just,
Yeah, but it made me think of that Norma Jean record you liked, so I thought you were gonna be into it. and you
Anti-Mother?
just- No, well, Anti-Mother and Redeemer.
Well, here's the thing. It's not like no matter when I would have listened to it, my opinion would have been the same. It didn't sway because you wanted me to listen to it.
Yeah, but I felt it did. Or I felt
That's just
I
your
pushed
perception.
it, and like it was like an unsuccessful.
That's your
attempt.
perception. Although I like when people. I was saying this earlier. I like when probably one of you two, if you're like, no, listen to that album again because it's actually perfect. You just
Yeah.
don't realize it yet. That makes me want to delve in.
That
again.
is nice to hear.
Oh
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely gonna tell you that that's like a 10, like a 5 out of 5.
Except for that album.
Daughters
Never mind.
record is incredible.
Um,
It's better than the one with the face on it. The
Do you like Daughters?
Yeah, I do think that new album's really good. I think it's probably the best thing they've ever put out.
oh, I'm
but-
talking the self-titled from 2010.
Yeah,
the
you're
new
not.
one.
You're talking about that last album before they went on their hiatus or broke.
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the you are whatever you don't
will
want
not
to be
get what
or
you want.
fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I think that's definitely the best record they put out, but I don't listen to it that often.
Yeah. Have we reached the time?
We should probably move on to Gecs because of our battery percentage.
We're good, but
I need to actually look at the track list for Gecs. Well,
I
I
have it
should
pulled up
lead
here.
by saying
Welcome to 100 Gecs.
when I first listened to this album, I got 2 songs in, turned it off because I hated it.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
Because I was like, this is just garbage. How are people into this? I gave it a 2 on Sputnik.
How did you hear about it?
Well, it's like did I rate it in 2019? I don't remember, but it was like it was just like general hype. Probably on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty.
Yeah. What was your first kind of inclination?
My first thought about 100 Gecs?
Yeah.
I guess I had listened to some of the singles that had come off it because I guess it's like a very internet. It was getting posted about a lot. It's kind of a memey thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, haha, this is a ridiculous fucking album. Why do people like this? But like, I had heard some of the singles and my initial thought was like, oh, like the sound of this album and the very modern and internet-y aesthetics are like very shocking and they're very abrasive and they're kind of gimmicky. It's like the thing that consumes this album is like the sound and the like, I don't know, like the pitched vocals, the super fucking, it sounds like they're recorded on an iPhone vocal. It's like,
Yeah.
I do think I like it. I like this album. I think
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. I'm interested to see if they can like prove themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing is I didn't know until recently that they had stuff before this,
Oh, really?
and I listened to it, and I mean, we're not doing an episode on it, so I thought the other stuff was like really not good,
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
really uninteresting.
What material is there? Is there another album
There
before this?
is,
an
let
EP?
me, on Spotify, there is something from 2017
Interesting.
called 100 Gecs, and I don't think I liked a single moment of it. And I'm just looking at the track list. I mean, similar like song names and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as outlandish. And I remember the album was like very similar to the record, like the 1000 Gecs.
Yeah.
But just not nearly as. It doesn't lean into the craziness
Yeah.
that this.
Well,
new one does.
what do you think about the time length difference? You had a thought about this, right?
So I guess my perception of this album is it falls into a category of albums that I think are like sort of cop-out albums. This album to me is maybe 3 or 4 super fucking catchy songs that I think are really compelling, and there is respect deserved for their very unique sound and blending of genres, but every other song on this either sounds like, I'm disappointed that there are 2 like sort of noisy interlude tracks on a 23-minute like 10-song album,
Mhm.
and the other 3 or 4 songs besides the singles sound like half songs to me. They don't necessarily sound, they sound like unfinished ideas.
yeah.
And was there. I don't know. Like if I had to say, I would have been like, just fucking write more better songs and just wait and put out a better album, or just put out an EP with like.
But to make a
4 or 5
full-length
tracks.
album with those types of songs, it would need to be like 20 songs.
Oh, I don't necessarily mean a time length. I just would have rather had
Just you could have the same length album, but just like actually finish those ideas.
take out noise tracks, take out fucking. There's filler on this record.
There is filler.
There's
on
high
it.
highs, and then everything else is just filler. It's
There's
just
about
nothing.
as much filler as there is good songs.
Yes,
I
no,
like
entirely
5 of
right.
these
Like
songs.
I Need Help Immediately.
Oh, 100%. That's where I was like, I don't. The first song too, I was like, this is 100% driven by its shocking sound.
It's an intro song. It sounds like it was probably like the last thing they did. They were like, oh, we need to start the album.
Right.
It's all about like I woke up in the morning and I started losing
Smoking
money.
weed or something.
I don't know, but it's called 745 Sticky, so it could be.
I think-
the first,
Oh, go ahead.
my first inclination was, it's like I was wonder why Brian's like recommending this one.
Yeah.
That's all I thought for the first song.
Ah.
I was like, I'm trying to actually visualize it from your perspective.
Well, the
Kind of confused. It's not that I hate it. It's just
Yeah.
I just was thinking.
the well, I don't know if you were into.
Well, I have a general thought about the whole album.
Well, my feeling on why I gravitated toward this, not that I like loved it or anything, was like one of the main influences of this sound that they have is that synthy scene mosh stuff from like 2008, which I was really into at the time, like I See Stars or Attack
oh,
Attack.
like the metalcore stuff.
Yeah, like the metalcore stuff where they did like synthy breaks, or like even I Set My Friends on Fire, which was
Yeah.
kind of the precursor to this. So that's why I kind of had a horse in this race, where I was like, oh, I liked that, which is one of the songs, but so I kind of like, it was a little bit of like a blast from the past, but like with a new upgrade for the meme culture.
I think that's exactly how I would describe this record. This record is not as new sounding as people think it is.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, I almost want to.
It's right there.
My fucking thought on this album is, it's like,
There was a
very-
lantern fly getting punched right there.
You said that like how Lars curses.
yeah.
It's like,
I just think it's like
fucking-
fucking stock. I kind of almost want to hold off on like I want to talk about this a little more, and I'll hold off on exactly what I was gonna say.
oh, okay.
I think Money Machine is a fucking great song.
Banger.
I think that song's so
Well, overall,
fucking good.
like my
blows
kinda-
any Taylor Swift song out of the water.
Yeah.
From
yeah.
Folklore.
You're comparing apples to oranges, my friend.
No, they're
It's,
both contemporary pop music. I
Yeah.
think they're absolutely relevant to compare.
I do think, even though there is filler on this album, I think we've stumbled upon two possible. They may be geniuses. These people. I don't know if they are or not. They might. I feel like they are wellsprings of uninhibited creativity, where
Yeah.
I feel like nobody is reeling them in at all as far as the songwriting goes and the production. Nobody's telling them like, oh, it's too crazy, or nobody's telling
that's
them
the
like, oh,
difference,
people
yeah.
need to actually realize. No, people need to be able to listen to this. Nobody's like reeling them in that way.
Oh yeah,
Which is the album's greatest strength and probably its greatest weakness too.
I think
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
That's very very right.
So that was my overall thought. And like you, I have certain songs that I think are amazing, and then
I
there's a lot
feel like
of
we're
filler.
gonna agree on the. I have probably 5 songs that I thought were great, and I could probably list them.
Yeah, list them.
So Money Machine's great.
Yeah.
I liked 800 Decibel Cloud.
I
I'm assuming.
think that's a great song too.
Stupid Horse was awesome.
I think
Yeah.
I think Super Horse is great because it's like a ska song, and I
Yeah.
think it makes 100. I think that's a fucking great idea to it. I don't love ska, but ska is like such a fucking energetic genre.
Yeah.
And this is like 100 Gecs is like this is like an ADHD album. You know what I mean? It's
But
like one of
also,
those,
it's got that early 2000s punk
yeah.
thing.
There's
with the
gang
guitars.
vocals on the song, and
Mhm.
it rules.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that goes great with the ska sound.
I think they that's just a great mashing for them. This like very fucking they pitched up vocals. Everything's kind of annoying, but it's I had said this before when we were first talking about this like in our Instagram chat. This album is like to me almost the same thing as like the Front Bottoms or something. It's super fucking annoying, but it's also great. Like that's it. I don't know.
Stupid
Hopefully it
horse.
doesn't
I
end
just
up
fell
like,
out of the porch.
End up like Front Bottoms.
There's a lot of bank account references.
There's a lot of like money
There's a
flex
theme.
because that's the meme.
Yeah.
But well, if we were going through the songs, Money Machine, 800, Stupid Horse, Ringtone, which
Ringtone's fucking great.
Yeah.
Ringtone's just an amazing pop song,
Yeah, it's an incredible song.
and it kind of bucks conventional structure, which I think is good. More pop songs should do
so
that.
it just repeats the same line the whole time.
Well, no, but it has like it's like chorus, verse, chorus, it sounds conventional now, but there's like a bridge part that's different than the verse.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really repeat parts other than the hook, which is nice. And then Hand Crushed by Mallet
That was a good one.
Yeah. And then
I even like Gek.
Gek. Yeah, that's funny.
No, because
that's filler. That's
I
obvious
know,
filler.
but I like when they take all these weird left turns and it's like video game music almost, and like the nightcore thing.
Yeah, which is
right?
I guess the thing that Pat brought up earlier in the car was that this is the debate of cottagecore versus nightcore.
Yeah,
but there's like if you listen to that, I think it's in Gek, where it, like 1 second it goes from weird dubstep to like video game music,
Yeah.
and then it goes into this like you'll know it. If you're listening to this, you'll know what part I'm talking about. It goes into like this noir part with
I thought this shit was dumb. I thought that was all filler. This sounds like this is one of the ones I was like, this is an unfinished song.
I loved life after that.
So this is artistically useless. It's why.
I cracked up. Music's supposed to make you feel joy, and that. Yeah, it made me feel joy. So.
Which that's what ringtone makes you feel. Ringtone makes you feel like I just discovered a song, like I did on MySpace or Pure Volume or something in 2009.
Yeah.
And I just listened to it repeatedly, which I haven't felt in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So like, hats off to that at least.
I think Get to You is not good, right?
Yeah, I think the song sings about they sing.
Get to You is actually kind of good.
I don't remember it.
But I didn't love it.
I think they talk about getting to you. It's like I need to get to you, and then they change the title Gecs to You.
What about I Would Never Stop?
Is that one of the like fucking?
I think it's one of the filler.
XXXI. I Would Never.
Oh,
no, this one sounds like it should be on like Dance Dance Revolution as one of the songs that you dance to.
Yeah,
yeah. It feels like it would be sung by one of those. Who's like the? Do you believe in life after love?
Cher.
Oh yeah, so it could be a Cher. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think one of the things that really changed my perspective on this. Well, when I got to Ringtone, I think the second half of that song, it's 100% just a Blink-182 song.
Wait, which one?
Ringtone.
Oh
like
yeah,
the bridge part.
It's 100% a Blink-182 song. Like Tom DeLonge could just be singing that.
Well, that other vocalist is like that kind of singer.
Yeah, they both sort of do that. Yeah.
But the main singer is the one that you hear most.
Yeah.
The other one is more punky.
I thought Ringtone and the start of Get to You, I was like, this sounds like a Fall Out Boy song to me. And at that point, I had a realization that I was like, I really think this album is 100% just very much early 2000s pop punk, like Fall Out Boy, Blink-182, with just completely new aesthetics and an updated sort of sound. But it's 100% rooted in that. Like at the core, if you played those songs on like an acoustic guitar or something, it would sound just like that.
Right.
And I think that they're great songs of that style, but like the thing that makes people so excited or confused or turned off of this album is the fucking crazy production. I think it's super fucking cool sometimes, but also kind of a gimmick. But sorry, just to get back to my one point is, I think this album sort of just reminds me of the second side of Panic at the Disco's first record, but turned to 11. Like,
no, it's so much more.
Wait, Panic at the
intense
Disco's
than that,
first record?
Yeah,
Fever.
The album where like half of it is acoustic and half of it's electric and like electronic.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the electronic side of that, but like obviously very different. There's 15 years of difference, but like I really think it isn't much different from that.
They
genre.
pull off the dubstep weird like insane shit. They pull it off. Like they do it well. It's not poorly done. So you got to gimmick or not, you got to give them props for that.
I will say one thing though. I don't, and this will be relevant in 15 years, but I don't think that Panic record aged well at all.
Oh, I think it 100% did. I love that album so much.
There's some parts of it that I think are really
what
bad.
What don't you like?
I'd have to go through the track. I never liked the first like song, which is the really electronic drum beat part.
What's it called?
They all have
London
annoying.
Beckoned songs.
I like that one. That's the second one. I actually like that album more.
I'm with Pat on this one. I think. There's a worm on my computer.
That's kind of cute.
I think the more pop punk songs on that album are good, but I don't like what's the big single on the Panic at the Disco? Yeah, I hate that song.
That song rules.
I think that's why I don't like that. I would say I don't like that album and it aged bad because I don't like that song.
No, I think that's a good album.
I do love the last song. I love Time to Dance and I love Kamisado. Those are great songs. But other than that, I don't really care for that record.
I think it's aged.
And
really
their album after that was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Pretty honest.
That's the only Panic at the Disco record I listened to.
The
Yeah, it
first
was-
one?
Yeah.
I really like their third one.
Yeah.
Vices and
Merely
Virtues is a lot
Witches.
of fun, yeah.
Good one.
Um,
I think the first side, to give some background, I used to looking at that worm.
Dude, he's just inching along.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
they should call that an inchworm.
The first side is the electronic version,
You're right, yeah. It's
and then the
first side.
second one is where it gets
Acoustic.
natural. It's
Or
not
like-
acoustic. It's
Yeah. There's like an
natural
orchestra.
instruments.
Yeah.
And that has amazing songs. Like, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
better if you do. Sin's Not Tragedies. Take it or leave it. Whatever.
Yeah.
There's a couple songs at the back end of that, I will admit to you, Brian,
Yeah.
aren't great. Like, there's a reason these tables are numbered.
Yeah, it's like, tell me how that song goes in the year 2020.
What about I constantly thank God for Esteban?
Again, tell me one good thing about that song. And
Strike up the band.
Ah.
Oh, actually, a lot of
That's a
songs
good
are so
one.
fucking dancey and catchy. It's
And
great.
the last song is incredible.
The last song's amazing. I like that one a
That's
lot.
a little-
God, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Gec thing is like
That's a great comparison, though. The Panic at the
one
Disco
thing
Days,
about
yeah,
the
that's great.
Gec, the name. I was trying to find out
This
why
is
it
good,
was
yeah.
called this.
The
Dude.
worm is inching along the XLR.
Oh, you trying to record, buddy?
Sorry, I shouldn't be distracted.
We're gonna
by
name
bugs.
this podcast.
Yeah,
100
get
centipedes.
serious, Pat.
Fucking bugs.
Ew.
He fell.
Um,
He fell. Epic fail. Epic fail. Gamer moment.
You got
This album is
pwned.
like epic.
This album is epic. This
Wait,
album
wait.
is not for noobs.
I was gonna say something though.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What was I gonna say?
Panic at the Disco or
No,
Gec?
about yeah,
Gec.
the name origin for Gec.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out, and I looked at like a few different interviews, and I think they're just like fucking with
They
people.
say a different thing every time.
Yeah, they say a different thing every time. Like there was spray paint on the side of the one person's apartment,
Yeah.
and then the other time it was like Gec is short for gecko,
Yeah.
so 100 geckos.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
It's such a good name though, because it sounds just like silly and random.
In
And
associated
their
acts
vibe.
for the Wikipedia page, it said Fall Out Boy though. So I
Oh,
was-
that's because Fall Out Boy did a remix of Hand Crushed by Mallow.
Oh, interesting.
And it's incredible.
how did that happen?
I mean, just buzz, and they probably listen to it. I imagine Pete Wentz is probably up on trendy stuff as far as Fall
I
Out
feel
Boy
like
goes.
those people like in that scene would have heard 100 Gecs and been like, "Oh, this is something we can this is something like we can make money off of." Not in like a schemey way, but they're like, I think they would hear the catchiness of those songs and be like, "This is the same fucking vibe that we have." It just sounds different. you
I think
know?
it's really nice to know that. Like, I mean, I really like Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
And I still like Fall Out Boy, like the newer stuff. But it's nice to know that they actually are like into what's actually cool now.
Yeah.
Because I think Fall Out Boy's not really cool now. Definitely not.
I'm not interested in any of their pop stuff, but I haven't really listened to a lot of it, so I could be wrong.
Well, I like their stuff. I think there's some like really like their album before the one that they just did is like really misguided and could have been great, but it is just not.
The one before the new.
Save Rock and Roll's fun. American Beauty.
Yeah, that one.
Like, that has some
sucks.
potential,
Let's
but,
not
like-
let's not dance around it. It
Oh.
sucks.
It doesn't suck. Century sucks, and the singles on it are bad.
Yeah,
but
what the fuck? I can't sing
For
this.
centuries. My memory of that is like going to the upper deck. Which
Yeah.
is like the food place at Millersville. And, like, it's like getting-
No, it's such a
Fucking
lame
depressed,
song.
like putting like fucking disgusting pasta onto a tray, and it's like
fucking like goop,
me
man.
for
I think
centuries.
that's what makes like I don't know. It's like almost embarrassing to listen to pop music at that point because that's just like a song made for sports, and it's super
Yeah,
lame.
it's for EA Sports.
Yeah,
like,
it's for ESPN.
in the game.
It's
It's in
just
the
I'm letting this inchworm just kind of take my seat real quick. But
Yo, I got something to say. That's the.
he's like, get me on the cast, bro.
yeah.
No, it makes you feel lame to listen to it, which is the exact opposite effect that it's supposed to have.
They're just a bunch of dads now.
Yeah, which is no, it's cool. It's just like it does make you feel stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's sort of a lot less to say about this 100 Gecs record, other than like its high moments are super high. It easily can put you off because it's super abrasive and weird sounding. I really like I think there's a super cool thing about this album, like the super fucking distorted vocals. Like, I think this is a big sign that, like, you know, audio aesthetics, like today people like fucking love like tapey sounding shit,
Yeah.
and like back then in like the 70s and shit, like the people working on tape machines didn't want shit to sound tapey. They wanted it to sound hi-fi.
Yeah.
And like for years, like digital distortion was like, oh, don't fucking do that. It sounds stupid. And like those things have been slowly coming around to be like cool. Like this album sounds like a fucking distorted iPhone recording, like the vocals do or something. And I think that's super fucking cool. I think that they did that well. It sounds modern. It kind of sounds futuristic almost because of that, but it's not. It's like those things have been
It's
slowly
not
coming
rooted in anything. It's I'm not gonna say it's timeless, but it has it's got like a lot of things from the
I'm
past.
gonna be
like
showing it to my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Gecs.
What are we gonna hate, or what are we gonna like in the future that we hate now? Aesthetically.
Good question.
Or are we too embracing of
Well, I
everything?
think about what is uncool right now.
What is uncool?
I would say like arena rock. Seriously,
like cock rock.
well produced rock.
I think rock music is like the worst thing ever right now.
Yeah,
Like
like
if you show me an alt rock album, I'm gonna throw up.
I think there's good rock music, but I don't look to the mainstream for any of that.
yeah.
I don't think there's probably been like, I don't know, a fucking guitar-based rock song in the top.
It's cool
10,
to
right?
be bedroom pop. Pop is very much in as always.
Pop
it
is
was.
always going to be timeless.
Pop is popular.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But people are really into kind of the recording at home thing still. You know, Alex G started that kind of wave a while ago, right?
Do you think that stems? Do you think 100 Gecs making these songs on their own stems from an Alex G?
Oh,
culture?
absolutely.
I don't think that's.
Because I don't think I'm not saying Alex G started it. I'm
Yes.
saying, but the sentiment of being able to do everything on your own and then eventually get the attention of a record label.
I don't think Alex G has made a major influence on the like majority of the music industry. I think he inspired a lot of fucking annoying ass 19-year-old Pennsylvanian kids to do that, but like.
No, I think his reach extended beyond that. Like I can't really name any, but
Ariel Pink has been doing this since 1999.
I know, but he didn't get the.
He's way bigger than Alex G is.
Yeah.
He was supposed to work with Madonna until he like called her a bitch or something.
Yeah, so maybe I guess Ariel. Pink.
I think it's slowly been happening. I think it's not something like Alex G would have. I think that's maybe us being in this world of like southeastern Pennsylvania and thinking he's like a fucking big deal or something. But like, which I think he is a big deal, obviously. But like, I think that the like Billie Eilish, 100 Gecs shit, like, and every other like newer pop star who's like working entirely outside of the traditional record industry is just like literally the same reason why we're able to like walk over to this weird corner of this like park and like have a Focusrite and just make a podcast because like this type of shit is just so accessible now. There's like you can just fucking buy a couple plugins and shit and just put it on presets and it sounds like a fucking pop song on your MacBook. Like it's just, and you can just buy one microphone and an interface and that's just it. Like you're not that it's like some fucking easy American dream where you can just like make the greatest song and get famous, but it's sort of inevitable, and people are slowly starting to realize that there's marketable people. It's like Justin fucking Bieber too, like got famous off of YouTube, like singing the fucking thing, and then people are like, "You're marketable," and then they.
But anyway, that is popular though, like that homemade kind of thing. What's not hot right now is like being like really produced stuff. It seems like, Well,
like, I think what happens is those bedroom artists are more relatable, and that's why an artist like Taylor Swift, they have to put in a lot of effort to make her seem like one of those people.
Yeah.
And they do it successfully, but it's also,
you can tell.
Not as
I want to see. I want
to
to see like goth kind of go back into the mainstream. I want to I think Marilyn Manson
kind
style.
of did with Billie Eilish and
But
Poppy.
I'm saying I think it's gonna get. Hope it goes even
Poppy.
more in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not doing the Poppy album.
I don't really.
Because I know you like
like
that. I couldn't.
Well,
stand
the Poppy thing didn't stick.
The Poppy thing is like a cringy version of what 100 Gecs is, or Grimes. It's like cringy Grimes.
I mean, Grimes
is cringy. Yeah.
Grimes is cringy, but I like Grimes.
But I think this is a precursor.
And Grimes is
into,
cringy because of the Elon thing, especially.
I think pants are gonna get
She's cringy because
baggier.
of herself.
Clothes are gonna get darker. Billie Eilish is gonna become like the new Michael Jackson.
That's so sad.
No, I mean it's just
I think
it's just the way it's
Billie Eilish
going.
is not bad. I mean,
I'm not saying
obviously-
Billie Eilish is bad. I'm just uncomfortable with the right now. I'm uncomfortable with her
Oh, because
the
of
brother thing.
Phineas.
Yeah, is it Phineas is the name?
Phineas is the name.
Of course, that's
Of course.
Phineas.
Who the fuck names their kid that? That's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Billy is a cool name though.
Billy
for,
Joe
for,
Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. That guy rules.
Is he cool? I don't
Yeah.
know anything about him. Is he cool?
He was in this
That
band
dude
called
rules.
Green
That
Day.
dude
Green Day, is he? Oh. I just know I listened to the latest Green Day record. We should have done an episode on that.
No, was it bad?
It was like abysmal, but there was a song called "It Was a Teenager," and that's hilarious. I think that's amazing. I love that.
I have like, of course, I've heard like the most terrible things about it, and then of course I have like one friend who's like, "Dude, it's amazing."
it is the most, dude, it's amazing album ever though.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
probably as short as the Gecs record. Which
Really?
actually, I had one other thing to say about the Gecs record.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before, and I'm not going to say their name on the podcast. I don't know if they want me to say it, but I told you that someone I know just got engaged recently, and before they did it, they hyped themselves up by listening to Ringtone. So, whoever that
Can
is
we hear
out
the
there.
story of how it happened or not?
I actually don't know the story really, but it was just before that person's
So they,
significant other came over. They were just like,
so
Alexa, play Ringtone by
So they
100
did
Gecs.
that to pump themselves up
Yeah,
for
to
the
get
task.
before the task of proposing, which I think is
That's
really
an
funny.
interesting song to choose for that.
Because it's high energy. It kind of gets the. You listen to that, you could probably punch through a wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was a
Yeah.
fun. That was the thing I was going to share with you.
I think my final thoughts on 100 Gecs is just like, they can write good songs.
Wow.
They've proven they can write good songs. They also are as pushed forward by their aesthetic as they are held back by it, and it is some often gimmicky, but also often engaging. And I think like I'm excited if they can put out another really fucking good album, that would rule. But if they can't, then that's just it. They just that's it.
Obscurity.
They just have to. Yeah, they'll just get forgotten.
I don't know. I think we may have stumbled upon two geniuses.
No, I would like to see that, but it would take more than a 10-song record with 5 great tracks on
Yeah,
it
I agree.
to tell. Because it's like I was
This is
even
basically an EP.
yeah. Well, that's another discussion we could have, and I won't bring up the fact that the 2 people I'm with were in a band that put out like an 18-minute
Oh, but there's
album.
a completely just. I don't think you should necessarily.
It's
I'm
not
thinking-
time, it's songs. You
I
think?
do not like filler. Filler, no filler ever. Filler is
Yeah.
bad. Like you can have a band and you can have a fucking 5-song album that's an hour long. That can be a record, or you can call it an EP. It's kind of for you to distinguish. Or you can have a record like we had an album of 11 songs. They're all songs. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
fucking acoustic instrumental. There's no
Yeah.
like noise intro. There's no. It's like the substance that's there and the form. Like 100 Gecs has 6 songs here, like 2 half songs and 2 not songs.
But
And
does that what constitutes it as a full length album?
don't know,
Well, I think that's
sort of
it's not even
esoteric,
like
but-
it could be a 20-minute album, but the fact that you're putting filler on it makes it sound like an EP that you wanted to market as an album.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
that makes
people are
sense.
like, oh, the debut EP, and it's like, okay, so we're still waiting for your album.
Yeah.
Whereas if they just like call it an album, people are like, oh, my eyes will glaze over, and I'll be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is all amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right.
can you imagine going to a 100 Gecs show, and they have about 10 or 12 minutes of great music, and then 10 minutes of filler?
Yeah, but I saw like a live set on YouTube.
What do they do? Do they cover
and
stuff?
I don't know, but it was like an hour set, I think.
But how do they do that? That's what
I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder what they do. I can imagine that their show, the kids that go to their shows would fucking love it. Like
Yeah,
Oh
There
yeah,
was-
they were going crazy.
There was like 1 or 2 songs on the album. I was like, I don't really love listening to this, but I can imagine this like fucking popping off at a show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
um,
Well, kids these days don't have a lot of patience, so maybe concerts are going to be like 20 minutes now.
Yeah, but
there
that's-
aren't concerts.
Yeah, well, not right now. Yeah, can you imagine 100 Gecs doing like a live stream from their living room, and you
They
get to
probably
like
would, yeah.
you get to like watch it on your computer.
There's
and
like a
just sit
live
there,
video of
like, oh, stupid horse. Yeah, I just fell out of the Porsche. Yeah.
there's a live video of them performing that song,
Oh yeah.
and
I
they're
didn't.
all like in these cool outfits and stuff. Yeah, you should.
I don't
it's
go on
cool.
YouTube enough.
I
YouTube
love
is cool.
YouTube.
Stuff. I like it,
YouTube's
and I
great.
just never. Yeah.
It's like the
Well, I
new.
hate
It's
it
like
and
the
I
new
love it.
HBO.
Yeah.
It is amazing that you have access to all that stuff for free. But
It is great. Should we
uh,
talk about what we're listening to though? Besides that.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
we're
think
doing.
I don't have anything else.
Well, I
have to
think
say on
there
100 Gecs.
there is kind of a. We did speak a little bit about it, but like the vanguard of the old Taylor Swift versus the new stuff.
Oh
and
yeah.
what it means for the future.
Do you think Taylor Swift is dying like that?
No, I don't
that
know if it
sentiment
is. I don't-
I don't
like-
think so at all.
Yeah, because that album's probably hella successful right now.
It is, yeah.
And then 100 Gecs is also successful, but probably just in a different way.
But the Taylor thing, she's trying to kind of make it seem like she's in the world we're talking about, like
Yeah.
the bedroom pop.
She's just not.
She's not.
It
She's
seems
not.
fake, and I hate it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious she's not.
Yeah.
1 out of 10, go.
No, I mean, The Gecs thing, I might give like a 7 out of 10 as far as an album goes.
Ooh, that's higher than I thought you were gonna give it.
Like just because I like.
I might agree with you.
Recently, have been like trying to just focus on like, oh, I really like that good part, so I'm just gonna, it makes it kind of elevates the rest of it enough.
Yeah.
Like I can listen to the rest of it because it's kind of like, I don't want to just blaze through like 5 songs that I really love in a short amount of time. I want to like appreciate each one. So here's like a less good song to kind of get me hyped up for the next one. Taylor Swift, I'm not gonna give a rating on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think like
3.
also like the 100 Gecs, like their bad moments on that album or the low ones are like fucking a minute and 45 seconds where like
Yep.
it's
Taylor
very
song
it's a
is
very
3 minute.
I mean if you're used to the aesthetics of the album and you can get over the fact that it sounds like a fucking chip tune digital glitch like like it's a very unoffensive record sort of in terms of its like good material versus bad material. There's moments on the Taylor Swift album where I was like, it was like a 4-minute song that I just wanted to turn off the whole time, and like that made me not want to go.
That's such a good
I
point.
could listen to the 100 Gecs record and be like, oh cool, those songs that I really liked fucking ruled, and I just don't even have to think about the bad parts. They just slip by, and that's fine. I'd give the 100 Gecs record like a 7.6 maybe. I think its high moments are super fucking high.
Yeah.
But I'd give Taylor Swift like artistically in terms of it being like a commercial project, 10 out of 10. They fucking killed it. Like I'm sure her fans are fucking
They got you.
so happy. But in terms of like an artistic pop record, I just think it's very uncompelling.
Who was William
I'd say,
Bowery or
like,
whatever?
6. I'd say it's like a 6 or a 5 or something. It's
That's higher than I
five-
thought you were gonna
maybe
give it.
5. It's
That's
5.
still higher
I'm
than I
sticking
thought you were
with
gonna
a
give
3,
it.
just a solid 3.
I'm just ignoring you right now.
I said I
What would
wasn't
you
gonna give it a
give-
number.
I actually would. I think I would give both records a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Um,
I think we said earlier when we were talking about the best thing a record can be is a 3.5.
Is a 3? You're talking
Isn't
about
that,
Wait,
isn't
why?
that something we said?
out of 10? We're not out of 5 or out of 10?
Out of 5, yeah.
No, out of 5s. Fuck out of 5.
Okay,
Pat
I
doesn't
think
like
out of
that.
5 just because of Sputnik. But
because of Sputnik. Wait, why? Why
but
do you
being
think
a 7's
that?
like a pretty good thing to be, right?
7 is
why?
ideal.
Why is that?
Were we talking about Pitchfork, right? Is that we said
Maybe we were talking about
7.8?
Fantana.
Yeah, in the context of
Yeah.
Pitchfork.
It's like a set, like the best albums are 7.8 because it's the hype train's not taking off on it,
Yeah.
but it's like big enough that people are actually appreciating it.
Right.
I also love that they gave Worlds Apart like a 0 or whatever, like a
my
0.2.
favorite album ever.
What
Yeah.
album?
Trail of Dead,
Ah.
Worlds Apart. The
Yeah.
album that
Oh, yeah,
came
I forgot about
after
that.
Source Tags.
Oh, I haven't listened to that one as much.
Oh, Drew listened to the Taylor Swift album for the first time playing Minecraft. I think the day it came out,
Do you like
which
it?
I think is really funny.
Shout out to Drew.
Yeah,
How
I don't know
you
if he
doing,
listens to
buddy?
these, but I'll have to show him this because we name dropped him.
Okay.
He just told me it was boring. I think.
What, the podcast?
No, the the Taylor record, but he's really actually into Bright Eyes right now.
There's a new album, isn't there?
He got me to listen to an album I hadn't heard before, the big one, the I'm Wide Awake It's Morning.
Oh yeah.
Which I was surprised he liked. I thought it was cool.
There's
not for me, but
I'm not a huge fan of Bright Eyes. I don't know about you, Pat.
There's some moments that I really like, but I haven't really listened to a lot of it, to be
There's
honest.
this one album called Lifted. That I think that's probably his best one.
okay. But if you're listening to singer-songwriter stuff like that, you should just listen to Sparkle Horse, even though they don't
Yeah.
sound similar at all. But I
No,
feel like
Sparkle Horse is like the,
just
the
plugging
ultimate.
Sparkle Horse
Or
right
Elliott
here.
Smith.
yeah, those two,
Or Phoebe Bridgers.
those 3. Not that
Um,
the new Phoebe Bridgers was that great, but
Although the first album is a perfect album, in my
that's
opinion.
a fantastic record.
The first Phoebe Bridgers album. I showed you that.
Yeah, you did show me that. It still hasn't really hit me. When I think about like, if I wanted to get the like Taylor Swift folklore, like what it's supposed to be, quote unquote, going for, or what I think it's supposed to be going for, or like, I just think of a band like Big Thief or something, like of a modern band. Have either of you delved into them?
No.
I have, but they're pretty big though. I know
I think
people
they're
like them.
semi overrated, but have some moments that are really good, and that's what I would associate with like, I don't know, contemporary singer songwriters. And I'm like, that's mildly compelling.
Yeah. What are you listening to?
What are you listening to?
Oh, you want me to go
Yeah,
first?
go first.
Well, there were two artists.
Other than Folklore on repeat.
Oh
yeah.
right, all right.
I can't say that one.
there besides Phoebe Bridgers,
Yeah.
which is I think she's like the fucking best of this generation. Well, I think she's
Really?
awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, actually, this new album Punisher I think is really good.
Yeah.
But her album before that I think is just amazing. I love it. It's so her personality is that kind of shines through with the songwriting.
Yeah.
She's so nihilistic and like very very relatable. I don't know. I think it's
I liked
she
her on
writes
the
great
1975 record, which I think
Yeah, I
would
like that
actually
one
be a
too.
great record to do a podcast about.
We could do
There's
that.
so much to talk about.
There is. I have to listen. I would have to really delve in. I'm
Yeah.
also listening to a couple other things. There is a record from this guy called Christian Lee Hudson, who actually I found because of Phoebe Bridgers. She recommended it. She produced his album, and he's like this singer-songwriter guy, and he has an album called Beginners, and I think you two would probably like it. It's nice though. And then there's this other I just discovered through like YouTube recommendations. There's this like neo soul singer called her name's Umi, Umi, and she has like 3 EPs out, and she's really good though. And I was just like I just found out about her, and there's like some really catchy stuff.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of music videos, and so check her out too. We'll put links to all of these in the description so everybody could check out. So that's what I'm listening to right now. A little neo soul, a little singer-songwriter stuff.
Yeah.
I actually found this band. I think it's called.
Yo.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a Lanternfly. Let him talk.
Sorry.
I got some shit to
It's
say.
it's like a more neo soul Bon Iver. I think it's called Haliker.
Haliker.
I might have shown it to you, but I don't know if I did.
I think I recognize that name.
Yeah, I think you
showed
should
it to
definitely
me.
listen to it though. It's awesome.
I'm gonna look.
But it's kind of like I think it's Halecker. Hail. Yeah. What do I listen to recently though? I was listening to actually Fall Out Boy a lot recently, like
Nice.
all era, to trying to like reconcile the future and the past. Which I appreciate the new stuff more. It's still I think it's just way worse. But listening to some Sparkle Horse recently, which is why I brought it up. Listening to Kevin's album.
Yeah.
One album I've had on repeat recently is Blood Brothers Burn Piano Island Burn.
Ooh.
Which I don't know if we listened to in college, but it's like their craziest one, and it was produced by Ross Robinson.
What about listening to Hum too a little bit?
Oh yeah, I like that Hum record a lot. And what else? I feel like there was something else.
You like Hum, Pat?
Yeah, I guess I haven't really like delved back into them, or I know I remember like listening to them when I was like going through '90s stuff when I was younger or something, but I don't know.
That new record I think is better than their '90s stuff.
Wow, that's
Right?
a big thing. That's cool.
Would you say you listened to all of them, Kevin?
No,
I
not
guess
all
the
of
3
them.
big records. The
Inlet,
listen
and you'd prefer an astronaut.
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 You'd prefer.
I really liked Inlet.
Inlet's
I
cool.
didn't love Astronaut as much.
Astronaut's okay. It's pretty mired by its time, but it sounds good. But Inlet was surprisingly good.
You listening to anything else? Otherwise?
English post-hardcore band that went kind of symphonic rock, Fight Star.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, you used to talk about them.
Love their album that everyone hated, Be Human. I've been listening to it a lot, and it brings me tremendous joy. So.
That's good.
Oh, and I've been going through the discography of Leviathan. I haven't heard that, which is a one-man black metal.
One-man black metal.
Yeah.
Classic.
You trying to kick me out of Throw Village and start
Yeah,
your own
I'm just
thing?
gonna sit there. But yeah, that's been I
Nice.
listened to that. That one's like really good because it's in between being heavy and being really ambient.
You think I would like it?
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe.
I should listen to it then.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The first record.
Okay. You're hesitant to recommend anything to me.
Well, because now after the daughter scare.
It's not. I didn't hate it.
No, because I like would listen to that every day and like.
Are you personally kind of upset that?
No.
I
I
connected
just
with it?
I felt more bad that I was like, oh, I want you to listen to this, and you were like,
No, it was
just
fine.
don't like it.
No, I liked it. I just didn't. I didn't
Yeah,
connect
no.
with it quite as much.
No, I know you don't like angrier stuff, but
Yeah, I think that's the funny thing. I always want to recommend you stuff that I think is like really fucking cool black metal or like kind of like spooky esoteric shit like that. And I'm always like hoping you'll like it, but it seems like it never really connects. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna send it to you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as open-minded as I
Yeah.
can with that stuff. I don't go out of my way to listen to a lot of heavy music in general.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. But I do connect to some stuff.
the Leviathan stuff I think is more spooky. Like the ones that I like, he has some more metal records, which I don't
Yeah.
really care for. But the one I'm thinking of is 10th level of sub-level of Suicide, which is good. And then there's one where he does it's all ambient, no black metal, and those 2 records are really cool.
Oh, okay.
So good, probably like autumn listens.
Yeah.
But still, it's still like the black metal one's still black metal-y, but it's really like almost easy listening.
Yeah.
Black metal without being not heavy. So yeah, I'd recommend that.
And I like the tape that you sent us, that black metal vampire kind of thing.
Oh, I really liked one of the more death metal record that you sent.
Remember you sent us...
I sent that Command EP.
Command, yeah.
That record's amazing. I can't remember what you might be referencing.
You sent us a tapey lo-fi kind of black metal.
You sent it to him
or
and he sent it to me, a while ago.
Yeah,
I think you might be talking about
reminded me
Sanguine
of Thrill
Relic,
Village.
which I think
that was it.
That was
they have
good.
a couple albums and that shit fucking rules. It sounds like they made a black metal record and then like dubbed it to a cassette, but like it was really quiet on the tape and like then you turned it up really loud, so there's just like this tape hiss and then like off in the distance there's just like blast beats and screaming like
which is what our new album needs to sound like.
fucking rules. Yeah, I love that shit.
That's
I think
amazing.
that all that stuff's great, and there's like a couple like cool instrumental moments that are like spooky acoustic guitars or something. It's great.
But what is in
what
the
are you
right now?
What are you listening to?
Well, this conversation made me think of something I've been listening to a lot. Like, Brian, do you like Devil Master?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so
it was Satan Spits on Children.
yeah. So I think that record's amazing, and they're a band that like gets sort of associated with like black metal, but they're not really black.
They're pretty
metal.
punky.
They're punk, yeah. And so something I've been listening to a lot because do either of you guys know the band Gism?
You got one right here.
Fucking bitch, asshole.
No, I don't know Gism though. But is it GISM?
Yeah. And I started listening to them more because like they're like this old 80s Japanese band, and like I never really understood them, and they're in like a scene of Japanese punk bands that I really like, but they clicked for me recently.
That was a 2-footer.
They clicked for me recently because one of my friends played a song of theirs, and I was like, oh, this sounds exactly like a Devil Master song, and I realized like, oh, that's where Devil Master is sort of getting a lot of these sounds
taken from Gism.
And then I went back and listened to like a bunch of Gism stuff, and I was like, ah, this fucking rules. It all like, do you ever have that where like there's a record that doesn't really click for you, and then you hear something that contextualizes it, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, this all makes sense now.
I can't think of an example of that.
No, but I've
probably
definitely felt that, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that.
So like, I listen to a lot of Devil Master and Gism, and I've been listening to a lot of thrash metal, like old Metallica or shit, 'cause I don't know, that stuff's super cool. And
You listen to old Metallica lately?
yeah, like Ride the Lightning, like
Hell
so
yeah.
great.
Is that the best one, I think?
I think that is
That's
maybe
what
the greatest metal album of the 80s.
People say that and Master of Puppets are like the best.
Yeah.
People say Kill 'Em All, which I don't get because I don't really
Kill 'Em
like.
Kill 'Em All's amazing, but they definitely had their
They got
peak
way better.
moment with Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets.
Does Ride the Lightning have something about Cthulhu?
Yeah,
Call of
Yeah, that's a
Cthulhu.
good one. Yeah,
And that's still with Cliff Burton.
Yeah, exactly.
And so is Master of Puppets.
Exactly, yeah. I think most of the stuff I've been listening to is sort of like, I'm just finishing up these like 2 or 3 musical projects, like the Hallucination EP that I just sent you, the Big Quig sort of album or whatever, and then I just finished like demoing all of these Blueprint songs. And so most of the stuff that I've been listening to have sort of fallen into like those 3 associative genres. I've been like trying to, I don't know, figure out reference aesthetics or figure out what other people do, or so like Big Quig. I'm always listening. Like I've been listening to a lot of shit, like just like Tony Molina all the time. Or I'm so excited for the new Yankee Bluff EP or record. I've loved every.
You like
single
Yankee
they put out.
Bluff?
No, I haven't listened to it.
Do you know who it is?
No.
It's Pete from Algernon, the singer from
Okay,
Algernon, and Nate from Snow and Blackamore.
Dion, yeah.
Cool.
And
Oh, actually, I was listening to not to steal the Pat spotlight.
that's fine.
I was listening to Slow Arm Death recently.
Oh, cool.
Sort of related.
That's cool, Dan.
The first song in the record is amazing.
Oh, Sleep.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's really like dark.
I like the one about like, 'cause I want to kill you.
Oh,
yeah. That one's called Kill You.
Yeah.
There's some really cool moments on that.
That's
record.
almost more of like a Beds style song.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
the Beds.
Anyway,
So you got a lot of irons in the fire there.
yeah, I'm kind
Lot
of
of
frustrated
swords.
by it.
Why?
Like, because I'm so close to like finishing all of them, but I'm just like waiting on artwork, or I'm like, I should probably write one more song. Or I'm like, I should change that. I'm just trying to like.
Well, what's
finish.
the closest thing?
Hallucination is technically done. I'm waiting on artwork. I have a master of the EP.
Are you gonna spread out the releases?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna try to a little. I want to put out Hallucination and then Big Quig and then Blueprint will probably naturally come last because we still haven't even
You
recorded,
haven't recorded that one, yeah.
But everything's
What about the
written for it.
project with Drillin'?
Nothing's really come of that. I hope something does. We've just sort of slowed down from sending each other songs, but
Okay, so that's exciting.
yeah, like finishing. And that was the fun thing too about the hallucination stuff is I ended up writing a bunch of the lyrics. So I was like listening to bands in that genre and being like, I don't know, I've never written lyrics in like a punk band like that or something. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I was like, I have to like listen to bands like, just like Disclose or Physique a lot, and I think both those bands are amazing. And yeah, and
It's so good to like hear you write songs again too.
Cute.
Because last time, I mean, it was honestly the last Cavity Kids record was the last time we heard you like kind of
That's
give
like-
lyrics or vocals, that
yeah,
kind of
you're
thing.
totally right.
So, and I know at that point you weren't you weren't brimming with all these lyrical ideas or anything. Do you feel
Yeah.
different now?
I totally feel different now. That was something that happened a couple of days ago when I finished that last song that I just sent you, where I was like, oh, this is great. I've hit a point where, I mean, like, I'm sort of wallowing in this bizarre, like, COVID depression of only hanging out by myself or something. But I'm spending all of that time just sitting in front of my computer, and I've made it way easier, like, if I have any idea ever, to just fucking play the part in front of a microphone or into the computer, and then, like, you know, an hour or two, like there's a finished song, and I can like keep momentum. There's not a lot of roadblocks to get in the way, and I think that's what I was frustrated with. Like back at that point in my life was like, I was really trying to like gain momentum on like a big Quig type project or something, and like I felt like it took so much effort for me to get any creative thing out that I was like, all right, I gotta like slow down and figure out exactly what I'm doing. So now I feel really good. Like I'm at the point of hopefully I'm putting out more music soon. Kind of. I'm equally satisfied as I am jaded. I just
you're
kind of pissed
always,
off, but I'm like, yeah, I think it's good. What the?
I
don't
think
fucking
jaded
care,
is
though.
like your aesthetic.
That's not good.
But does it keep you working on stuff? So
Yeah, I
it
mean,
keeps you
that's-
fresh.
until I'm like so unlikable that
would
like,
be- I
Yeah,
would
but
be-
you're not just like putting out like really like a bunch of garbage. Like you're actually like taking a critical eye to it. If you're
Yeah,
I would be
hopefully.
worried if you weren't jaded.
hopefully yeah. You're like, yeah, this sounds awesome, and it just
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
And it's really happy, and it's like, dude, get out of here.
See, that's like the opposite of me. I'm so bubbly about
Kevin's like,
I made this song. I really like it.
Kevin's like, but she's so nice.
Sorry, Taylor, if you listen to this. I'm at 13%. So I mean, if we want to talk a little more, we
I had
can.
another record that I really
Yeah.
like this year, which I don't know if you pronounce it right. I don't remember where they're from, but it's Aransi Pazuzu. Was like an
Pazuzu.
avant-garde black metal record that made me think of parts of Hubardo by KO.
Oh, really?
I don't know what the album's called, but that was the band name.
It's through Flenser?
It wasn't through Flenser. I don't remember. I think it was like Nuclear Blast maybe, but that was a really cool record that sounded like nothing I'd heard. But it's whatever their record is from this year. That was awesome, and I thought maybe it bridged the gap a bit because it was definitely black metal or like harsher.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of the like weird sounding stuff that it immediately was like Hubardo,
That's cool.
Crown in the Muck.
And this
kind of
doesn't
feel.
sound like that, but didn't you recently get in a grouper?
Oh, I know. I liked Grouper for a while,
You
but
did?
now I'm going through the records because
Pat,
I love
Pat
Dragon.
first introduced me to Grouper.
I fucking love Grouper.
Grouper's
I think it's
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
That album,
Dead
Ruins. Or that one, too.
Yeah,
That-
Dead Deer rules. I mean, I really think most of her records are fucking amazing.
I need to go back through all of them, but I know I knew Dead Deer, and there was
Ruins is my favorite one.
Ruins is beautiful.
that's more recent.
Maybe like
It's not one of the latest.
no, it is. It's like maybe like she put out an album a couple years ago, and it was like the one before that. That's like 2016, 2017 maybe, but it's like she has a newer album, but I think that's the one before her newest album.
And there's a 2-part album where it's really, or it's
Yeah.
like it's
The
really
aliens.
spacey. It's like really
Alien
it's like,
Observation or something.
That's
I think I know what you're talking about.
her stuff's awesome. I'm excited to go through more of it, but
That's
Dead
cool.
Deer has been one that I go back to.
That's a good one.
Um,
I think that was like the breakout one. That one.
Yeah, I think that is one that people were like, oh shit, you're
Yeah.
really good at this.
the album cover kind of creeps me out because it's like, is that a kid?
It's like a little girl, yeah, it's sort
Yeah,
of weird.
and I thought it was like
that's not her.
I don't know. I think it's like a small child.
Oh no, there is a cover with her on it. It's the one that's the man who died in his boat or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
You
know.
remember that one?
I don't know.
Yeah,
off
that
the
album's
top of
really
my head.
Also, another thing I was listening to that I had sent both of you is that Sunny Day in Glasgow record.
Oh.
I'm really excited to go
Yeah.
through the rest of their discography.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. They're a Philadelphia band. I don't know how I had missed them, but I think that I heard that album. I was like, holy fuck. It was like the first time in a long time I've heard an album, and it was like not traditional songwriting, and it was like mostly based on like cool production sounds and shit. And I was like, whoa, this is really fucking engaging. And they're just making like a weird sonic landscape. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
I didn't delve in. Is it kind of like the Brian Eno attraction? How that is not as...
It's not really. I wouldn't put it as Brian Eno, but it's definitely like it's a bad. I mean, I don't know. I haven't listened much beyond that first album, but it's just like I'm like, whoa, that sound is so cool,
Yeah.
and like it's like really engaging and it's like enveloping, but it's not slower. It's like very energetic at the same
Okay.
time.
I listened to that one. I was really impressed by it, and then I listened to the one after it, which was Autumn Again, because like it has a really nice album cover. I think it's like some sort of like joke comic, where it's like one person says to the other, it's like Autumn Again, the other one's like yes, ugh, or something like that. But it's like funny. So I listened to that record, and it was short too, so it was easy to get through. And I think it connected more immediately than the other one did, because I kind
really?
of knew what to expect. I still need to go back to the other one.
How
but
many other ones do they have?
They got like a ton, I think. They got
Really?
like 5.
There's a lot of it. Yeah, there's a couple at least.
But Autumn Again was really, I think it was more dream pop than just the straight up like soundscapey stuff. So maybe that's why it was more like immediate.
You ever get that feeling though when you find a new band that you really like, and you're like, oh, this is a really cool album, and you see they have like 12 albums, and part of you is like, fuck.
yeah. Homework. Like I don't care that much.
Like I'm probably like 3 of these next records I'm gonna listen to are gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But come on, I got other things I gotta do.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I actually kind of get that, and I wish I didn't. But yeah.
Well, it makes you feel bad.
It's like, oh, you're
it's a very
prolific
human
and good
thing.
at this. Oh, come
God
on.
damn it! I wish
Why
you
couldn't you
sucked.
die?
Yeah.
I wish you died.
Or at least like take 7 years to make a record. Like
Yeah, take your
have a
fucking
nice life
time,
or
you
something.
asshole.
Yeah.
I've mostly just been listening to the same shit I'm always listening to. I'm reading Graham Parsons' biography, and that's been really fucking cool. I love that guy.
Cool.
Do you know who he is?
That name sounds familiar.
He like played in the Byrds, and he like had a solo career, and then he like I don't know, he like died when he was really young, but he's like this like sort of like helped create like country rock as a genre, and he's like I think his songs are amazing. And I'm reading his biography and it rules, so I've been listening to him a lot too as I go through that. But yeah,
That's cool. Speaking of, I've bought the Ghost Tropic from Songs
cool.
Ohio when I was at that record store with
Yeah.
Brian. I've been listening to him.
He has a new like little EP record thing out that's like songs he wrote before, like the last
Yeah.
songs. I haven't listened to
And
it
there's
yet.
some
but it's
songs
like-
that were not released on other
yeah,
things.
they're
before.
like new tracks that he had made before his death or something.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're just about there.
We just about did it. Or anyone have any last
We
last
didn't talk
rights on
about
these?
foxing, but
Yeah. So you don't like foxing? Is that right?
I think they
Just
suck.
No
yeah.
opinion. Okay.
I
Oh, they're bad. Okay.
I think
And
they're
you think they suck.
bad.
You think they rock.
You-
but
You think they got bad, right?
You
No,
think they
no,
were
I-
good
I-
and then went bad.
no, I like Near My God for the most
You almost
part.
threw up saying it. You're like near my. God. Yeah.
I really like Dealer.
Dealer might be better.
I actually think they probably got better, Pat, now that I'm thinking of it. I think they may have gotten better.
You're dead to them. They just.
I'm confused on like what's the appeal of a band like that. Where like I understand that they're like a very emotional band, and I like bands like that that have like dramatic and sad songs about relationships or whatever. But I just like, I guess the thing that keeps playing in my head about like that foxing is like that singer just being like, "I want you back," and I just think
but
about
that's
like
what was cringy about the first album.
Oh, and you think they've stepped away from
I
that?
think they've
I
gotten
think they've stepped
better
away
with
from
that.
I think I just
Sure.
think about like some fucking like 29-year-old dude saying that, and I'm just like,
Well, you know that song Rory from that first album?
no.
Well, anyway, that whole album with the dogs on the cover,
Yeah.
there are some great tracks on it, but that really makes you feel like, this is weird.
When I guess, to me, a band like Foxing confuses me because I mean it's probably just like a taste thing, but I like if I am looking for something to make me feel really sad or something, there are bands that are way more successful at that.
Oh yeah,
And
I don't listen to them to make me feel sad.
I would only listen to 3 on a Match to get sad. Or what, is it
but not
3 on a
even
Match?
not even that. I don't think they're one of those sad bands.
They're not catchy to me. They're not engaging or.
I actually think
exciting
they're
or
more of a pop.
fancy.
Well, I was actually gonna say I thought they were good at the pop thing. That's why I liked.
I actually think they're more of a pop band now.
Interesting. Maybe there's something I'm missing.
They're kind of sad in the way that 1975 have sad songs.
I've never listened to that band.
They're not a sad band, but they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to you.
I don't hear that.
Okay. All right.
I think I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more. I don't know. It's just different emotions for the bands.
They're more three-dimensional than that The Albatross record is not as.
I don't think that's representative of them at all.
Yeah.
I have a hard time listening to that one.
Well, I think I'd never listened to anything past their second album, and I thought the second album was dumb. And maybe I should listen more. I'm uneducated. Yeah. I'm ignorant. I shouldn't be talking shit on a band when I haven't listened to their stuff.
No, I mean you'd probably find them boring though. Yeah, seriously.
Like you're just skipping a couple steps.
Steeler's very atmospheric. It's not as like emo and whiny boy, but it is very atmospheric. You'd probably find it boring, to be honest.
And for instance, we were just talking about Grouper. I love atmospheric stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like. Yeah. It's not like. I was about to say cool.
What are they doing then? Like, what is the positive if there's some band in between atmospheric and emo?
It's more post-rocky, I guess.
Oh, post-rock is I think that's a clickbait genre title, and it just means they have delay pedals.
I want to explain to you why I like them, but I don't really.
No one can tell me why they're good.
Why is Dealer a good album?
Well, I think the atmosphere is really good on Dealer. I like song 2 kind of has like a bit of funkiness to it, but at the same time it's still in that like post-rock hazy ness to it.
It's got good build-up.
It's really
moments.
It's got good groovy parts.
It's very nice on the ears.
The delivery's really good most of the time.
His singing.
Yeah, I mean it is. It actually is hard to do.
His singing gets better. Like it's actually.
It sounds like you trying to describe the Taylor Swift album. You're like, yeah, it's a 3, but it like sounds nice, dude.
And then this new album, Near My God.
I think that one was cool because it's weirder because it's like really poppy ideas that shouldn't be.
They're more experimental.
A post-rock, and there's like beep, beep parts. I shouldn't say that. Bleep the name out of the band. In the podcast? Beep. Yeah, all right. You should actually censor that from the podcast. Like, that's not, like, please do it. But they remind me of that bleep band.
I'm not going to do it.
No, you should. It'd be way funnier. It's way funnier if people didn't know what band I'm talking about. But it's like I think it's like more pop ideas taken into, like, a context that they're not normally in.
Right. Yeah.
Like, there's some, like, housey moments on one of the singles from Near My God.
No slapstick.
Heartbeat is kind of got some.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
song.
You don't like that one, but
I hate that one.
You guys are doing a really bad job of convincing me.
No.
Well,
don't get me wrong. There's some bad songs. Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
We're running low.
We're probably gonna have to run. We're just gonna cut the foxing talk right
cut
there.
the foxing. We'll do part 2 later.
I mean, I like foxing. I would understand if you don't like foxing, though.
I like foxing.
No, I mean I know you do. I don't. They don't. It's whatever.
It's
I don't understand.
All right. Well, we're actually gonna see foxing right now. We're going to a show.
I would. Yeah. I mean, I've seen them a couple times.
You have seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
We've seen them. We played with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He borrowed my guitar one time. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the only time I ever saw them.
Yeah.
And that was back during the Albatross days.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
that was actually the second time that I had played with them.
Oh, you played with them again.
That one band, Beep, played with them, and then our other band, Beep, played with them.
Wait, which Beep band was it?
I think the Beep band we were talking about earlier, right?
I'll tell you about it after the recording's over.
Beep.
Yeah.
That's a great band name.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
That's the next gimmick.
I don't know. I have no
name.
conception on how long this thing was. But
I don't know either.
Thank you for sticking with us,
2 hours,
listeners.
I think,
Again,
2.5.
you can find us on Harrow Recording 666 if you want to have any more updates. Oh, I was supposed to ask one question.
And we have 3% battery.
No, 7%.
Okay.
So I put out the question early this morning. Hey, I'm doing a podcast with Bryan and Pat, and if you have any questions, now's the time. I know this is last minute. I've got one question, and I left it until the last minute, and it is from Aiden.
Hi, Aiden.
Thanks for doing that.
Aiden was the one that watched the Friday 9 and 10 at my house.
Thank you for engaging, Aiden. Oh, actually, I got another one from Spine Transfer, which is Ethan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ethan says, ask Pat why they're so talented and cute.
Fuck
Pat, why?
It costs a lot to keep this going.
Ethan, your answer is it costs a lot to keep this going. Wow.
And then
Okay.
Aiden's was about tracking stuff.
What
right?
order did you record instruments on tracks? Best or melody? What does he mean by best or melody?
Beat.
Oh, beat or melody. So if you're referring to Thrill Village,
We had a whole podcast about that, buddy. Go back and listen to that.
no, most of those songs started with electric guitar, and then I'd layer it with the
bass and the
acoustic
drums.
guitar, then bass, then drums, and then we'd do
The
vocals.
vocals are very last.
What do you do, Pat, for yours?
I mean, I guess I write a song on a guitar or something, and then when I want to put it in my computer, I do the drums, and then I play the guitar to the drums. But the last song I did, I had acoustic guitar recorded in my computer, and then I did drums to it, but that was fucking annoying. I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Hopefully that illuminates that. Anyway, thank you to Brian and Pat for being. You were very tame. I thought you were going to rip each other's throats out.
Well, we had a common enemy in
It was
Taylor
a common
Swift.
area.
When we do
little did I know the tides turned on me.
Once I have a dog in this race, we're gonna.
You do have a dog in this race.
Which one?
Didn't you?
The Gecs are. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we all kind of agreed that the Gec.
Pat, if anybody, Pat didn't have a dog in this race.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
they'll
fucking
have a
care.
dog in the next
Okay.
race.
All right. Thank you for listening. Bye.